if you were watching this afterwards, we are working on the chairs that I was working on last night. Oopsies. There we are. Cool. And I'm gonna be starting off with playing my tunes, and then I think I'm gonna watch some music videos, or I'll watch some videos on YouTube. But let's start the day off with something mellow. Cool. So, first things first, I'm gonna do the side panels. What's up, Nana? So I'm gonna do the side panels, and then I'm gonna do the back, and then this chair. Then I gotta attach the bottom, and this chair is done. And then I will do the other chair, which is pretty much the entire chair minus that bottom panel. But I should be able to get this done before 6, theoretically. You're such a savage one. I was like, whoa, I think you just love me. Oopsie, I think I just found a little pissy on the floor. I think one of the dogs did a little pissy. I gotta clean the pissy. I don't like the cut things off, let it go, girl. Let it fly away like some birds in the springtime. Let it die like some leaves in the fall. Let me just be what it gon' be. We enforce it as much as I wish you could stay. I ain't gon' fall shit. She told me all I ever needed was you. Whoa, all those bad words. Such a savage one. I was like, whoa, I think you just love me. I'm trying to figure out, you've been such a good boy in here. You've never pissy. You're not pissy. Well, you did pissy by the door over here. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was the other dogs. They're not trained as well. What? Go. I need to cut some some decking for the sides of these, and I'm gonna staple that one first, and then I'm gonna put some poly on there, and then I'm gonna put the side panels on. So I'm gonna be patient for a second. What do you think? I thought I cut that, but I might not have cut that. Okay, so I didn't cut that. I thought I cut that last time, but I didn't. I lied. Nice. See you later. Love you. Love you, Nana. Talk to you later. All right. Let's get that done. So I'm gonna cut all the poly that I need for all the poly pocket that I need for both chairs.
Not God in a politically kingly sense, but God in the sense of being the self.
No.
God, basic, whatever there is. And you're all that. Only
It just had to go over. It just had to fly over the edge. Whoa. All right. That's better. Yo, where is it at? I'm missing my big ruler right now. I know it's here somewhere. I have a feeling I put it under the table. That's where I put it. I should never put it there. I told myself, put the ruler right down here at the end of the table. I always forget. Alright, I'm gonna measure the side of this chair real quick. I'm down, but it's cool, look nice. Both down, but it look nice. Both down. Shit's alright. Yeah. Alright, a little bit shorter than 23. Like 23 by like 19 will be very good. 23 by 19. Alright, let me wipe up this tinky. I think the. Alright. That's always good. I always love that. Piss on my workshop floors is always just such a nice thing. You know what I mean? Everyone loves piss on their workshop floors. Alright. 23 by 19, that's what I said. So let's do that. We're just gonna do a little pa. So you don't normally use Sharpie for most things because it's scary, but for this it won't come off, so it's not scary. Alright, 23, 19, let's do 23. Alright, so we're gonna go 19 up. I'm gonna do a little tick mark. I'm gonna do another little tick mark. This is not need to be exact. this poly's a little bit thicker than the other stuff I have too. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a little bit off of it. Just gonna take out a little bit of a layer and just kind of peel across the whole thing. And that'll pull it down from like a 3/4 to a 1/2 inch or whatever. So, or 1/2 ounce from a 3/4 ounce to a 1/2 ounce.
Lonely, say you're lonely. Call me late at night when you're lonely. Miss me, say you miss me. It won't be too long till you can kiss me. 7 months that stays apart, shit is hard. Good day, you got my back like my bride, my bitch. You ain't gon' switch, that's a fact, that's a trick. And you still looking past that, it's lit. Yeah, you got me. Ain't no question, baby girl, yeah, you got me. Hit a rough spot, she get rocky. We gon' bring it back around, get me talking. Ooh, locked in. Little mama, you got it locked in. Rose gold tote, what you told in. Top T gas, what we smoking. Oh, for the weekend. Flying out to Texas for the weekend. Can't wait to bring that back in. Yo, sweet self, what I'm missing. Lonely, say you're lonely. Call me late at night when you're lonely. Miss me, miss me, say you miss me.
A little bit.
It won't be too long till you can kiss me. Cute eyes, thick thighs are on my girl. You is just on my type. Inside and out, you a dime. Top of my mind, I just slide.
There we
Why
go.
would I ever need to switch up on you? Your ass fat, no need for them loot. Dessert got me up like some voodoo. Dessert eat me up like Tiramisu. Ooh, baby hit the slide on them. When it's up, hit the slide on them. Yeah, let's hit the strip, throw some ones on them. Hey, for throwing the ones, throw some bills on them. Hey, yeah, you got me. Ain't no question, baby girl, yeah, you got me. Hit a rough spot, she get rocky. We gon' bring it back around, get me talking. Oh, lonely, say you're lonely. Call me late at night when you're lonely. Miss me, miss me, say you miss me. It won't be too long till you can kiss me.
So I'm cutting the panels for this chair and then the other chair too. Alright, cool. Let's use that one first since I'm gonna be paying the eyes. Bing dang dong, battling ding dang dang dong. Ding dang dong, battling dang 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 dong. Thomas, he's just a small dog. Thomas, he's just a small dog with his foot wrapped. Cause he had to hurt his foot. Why'd you hurt your foot? Why'd you hurt your foot, Thomas? Cause you had to run so fast. Why'd you run so fast, Thomas? Why did you run so fast, Thomas? Why? Did you run so fast? Oh shit. Little Bon Jovi over here. Buster Brown. I forgot, I need to cut these use this stuff, it's like it's just you're using it to like reinforce the sides. So you need to go pee, bud? Here. Come out there, go pee. I'll be out of my face. If whatever it is, I'm the best. Pushing this, I'm a list. I'll just burn. I've been living on my hero. I'm not an evil. Diddly day, diddly do, diddly bop, diddly woo, diddly true, diddly yeah. Alright, I'm gonna make it 17. We're gonna make it 17, we're gonna make it 18, we're gonna make it 18, and we're just gonna go straight across. We're gonna cut 4 of these. 4 of these gab smockers. Make an album of obscure. I just want to talk crazy thought not so serious. Something very much fun. They get wet, fuck up. I'm talking real rough, fuck up. I'm talking wet, fuck up. I'm talking real rough, fuck up. I'm talking drink way too much. Way too much. Like I feel good, but I feel down. I was still, you right here. That's what you need. So there's like another material that's actually better for this, but I don't have it right now, and this will work perfectly fine. But there is another one. It's called cambric. I'm not mistaken. Cambric. This is decking. Yeah, that's cambric, but I don't have any cambric. I'm not gonna go to the upholstery store for really nothing. We have our decking that will be used as camber. Now it is time to upholster these sides. Bootalang, Budapest, out of here, like who the rest, like who is me, like who is them, like who is us, like what? Tickle it, top off. A little. Alright, so here we go. There we are. Ow, fuck. I put that shit right on my hurt toe. I need to put some triple antibiotic on that. It's like not healing. Alright, so here we are. I'm gonna get a sip of this tea. Alright, enough of that. Hey, Thomas, what did I say? No. He looks so guilty whenever I tell him no. He's such a good boy. You're a good boy, Thomas. You just cannot chew that off right now. Yo. Oh, fuck. All right. Here, let's rotate the chair actually. Let me get my little chair over here. Someone gotta be down on my knees. Begging, down on my knees, begging. Down on my knees, begging. Get down on your knees, begging. Get down on your what? Begging. Mama look like pop out this shit. I'm gonna staple it right in between where the wood's at. Okay, nice. Alright. Oh, I stapled up too high, guys. Fuck. So sometimes I'm an idiot. Sometimes I make mistakes. And let me just show you how to properly do this. I was going through it because normally this is so easy, and this isn't even something you should have to think about, but I didn't think about it and I messed up. So therefore, I guess I should have thought about it, so I was thinking about something else. Pop staples. No one likes popping staples. Popping staples suck. A good boy. Yeah. Good boy. Okay, let's do this again. So I'm gonna start in this corner and this corner. So we'll put one right. That's how I should have done it the first time.
Take me, take me, take me. Baby, don't you take me. Show me love and respect. Baby, don't you protect yourself. Cause you make a victim, not with me. Need TLC, like 1, 2, 3. I'm never you, like you never me. You never me. I get scared. been working hard through hard times. I ain't giving up, I'm out now. I ain't the type just to walk out. Why you gotta question every action? Like you're just looking for reactions. Bringing up shit from the past tense. Making me practice my patience. Making me dance through your races. Oh, you think I am complacent? Wait, I'm adjusting my focus. Talk as my head moving slowly. Talk to me nice when you speak, babe. Earning yourself a weekday. Just know I can't fall in love. And that's when she said, I said, baby, why can't you fall in love? I said, baby, it's just too hard for me to trust. I know myself. I never wanna ask for help. I know myself. I'm never wanna leave nobody else. Maybe it's 'cause I'm broken. All of my loves have me lonely. Stone cold without light skin. But should I keep moving? It is the paper I'm chasing. Only the reason for doing. Over the roads is moving. I got hoping. All of my things I keep on playing. Nothing to change around. Feelings the same will change around. I wanna win so bad. I wanna win so bad. I want that baby right now. I want the million things right now.
Thomas! Don't you be chewing on that. Ooh la la day. Ooh la la day.
Paris is Fashion Week.
Hey.
We're caught in New Mexico. Hawaii for the beach.
Yes, sir.
Frisco for the smoke.
Big smoke.
Top off the cheek.
Off the what?
Pull up, so that show.
Yes, sir.
It's the life I dream.
It is very much so.
Gotta let you know.
Manifest.
Like right now, went from real broke to rich, wow. Shout my fam, my friends, and everyone who held it down. Whoa, they don't know all the shit we've been through. It's cool, like oh, what the hell should do? Look at the style, look at the hair, bitches impressed. Speaking my dreams, walking my path, living in love. House in the hills, demon no whip.
So the reason I'm cutting it away right there is because of when this panel comes down, it's gonna go right there and it's gonna have its own poly. And I don't really want it to get in the way. And make it extra bulky. Come down there, right there. So I need to make sure that this front edge, I left just enough to do the. Let's do that first. Alright, I'm gonna cut 4 of these bad boys at the desired size for this. So, right there. Right there. Right there.
That's a lie, we both know it's true. And our opinions are the prescription. I see you ways, I see you ways. I say it's all on the phone, you say none of it is. I say it needs some work, you say it's perfect. I say I'm in the way, you say it's positive. I say I need some help, you say I got you, bitch.
Alright, fine. I'm gonna go use my other ones because these things don't even work for this.
That's a lie, we both know it's true. And our opinions are the prescriptions. I see your ways, I see your ways. I see your broken car, you see your beauty.
You'd think that since they're smaller, they wouldn't work as well, but they work so much better. Great. Hopper.
I see your ways. Sometimes it's hard to see it from the other side.
Sometimes it's hard to see it from the other side.
Especially when you always think
Especially when you always think
you're right.
that you're right.
Sometimes it's hard to let go of your pride.
Appreciate it, Smurfy. Thanks, bro.
Especially when you're only one on the side. Don't you keep acting like I'm a victim. That's a lie, we both know it's true. And our opinions like their prescriptions. I see your ways, I see your ways. You never try to lock me in a box. Never try to put me in no clubs. Just wanna show me that I'm loved. Baby, yeah, you're different. Never try to take away my soul. You always think you like to steal my soul. Giving me a heart, no call. That's why you're my favorite. You're my favorite. Yo. You're my favorite, babe. You're my favorite. You're my favorite, babe. You're my favorite. You're my favorite, babe. You're my favorite.
Okay.
You're my
Alright, here we go. So this is how you do this.
Never get mad over love. Still putting on my phone. Do it all, you showing me love. Baby, yeah, you different. Love it when you all in my space. Love it when you taking my pace. Exquisite when expressing don't taste. That's why you're my favorite. You're my favorite. You're my favorite, babe. 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 Yeah, you're the one I want. Yeah, you're the one I need. Yeah, you're the one I love. Oh, darling, you're my favorite. Yeah, you're the one I want. Yeah, you're the one I need. Yeah, you're the one I love. Oh, darling, you're my favorite. You're my favorite. You're my favorite, babe. 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 You're my favorite.
Alright, so I'm gonna put the fabric over the top of the hammer and then I'm gonna zip tie it. Yeah, bro. Well, yeah, so I do, this is like upholstery, so I like reupholster. That's like how I make a living. I do reupholstery, custom furniture, like that bed frame, boat cushions, all sorts of stuff. Now I have my fabric covered hammer so I don't accidentally stain the fabric with the rest of the hammer. Just gonna trim this off. trim this off so it's a little easier to see everything, I guess. Aston Martin. That is what I'm saying, by the way, if anybody's wondering. Jeez, son. A little bit of a clutch, I guess. Alright, that's pretty good. Alright, now.
Until the party's all done, until the drugs ran out, some more money ain't as high, and they all run out like, wait, where's pretty good? It's 'cause the past and gone, and now I'm just alone.
I guess to answer your question more directly, yes, I am restoring furniture. I don't know why I was being extra specific. I am restoring furniture. Alright, so I'm gonna trim this fabric off before I move on.
Let me talk to you like I know you, babe. I know there's a few things that I like to say. Like, get it on over, let me see it clap, show me what you can do. All that ass, baby, is you pro or you rookie, girl? Let me get a taste, kiss that cookie, girl. Put it out the park like a home run. I'm a little off, but I'm real fun, I ain't tryna buy, let me test drive. Sam hella fly, but that's no surprise.
I do just want to say, anybody that's watching this right now, I do produce, record, mix, and master all my songs. So I'm not a cheat. Although I do sample stuff, so I guess that's, you know, some people consider that whatever. But I also don't sample stuff. I also play stuff. I also do a bunch of things. You know what I'm saying? It's what feels good for the song. It makes me makes me. I'm happy. Makes me happy. What makes me happy with the song. So remember that. Alright. What I got from there? Let me see. I'm dropping shit left and right, bro. That's always what happens. I like start piling up tools on my sawhorses and I just like start spilling it over. Okay. Time to remove. Take over my mind, no.
this chance and we blessed. They don't perplex, never thought I'd be the next. Now these on my head like one of flex. Just call it real, I ain't sorry I didn't press, and I ain't sorry we were best. Like one day, one day, one day, I said one day, one day, one day, I said one day, one day. Baby was falling in Pacific. Came back with funny, will be typical. One day looking back, I see mystical. I'm telling you right now, we gon' be the biggest out like all stars, rock stars. That's why this gangsters. You pussy, I need justification, makes me blacked out. We got to play love, saying I'm okay, showing love is just my flavor, baby. One day, one day, one day, I say one day, one day, one day, I say one day.
Hey, I'm gonna go put some icy hot on my neck, so I'm gonna be back in a second. As a teen, but life got a hold of me, totally missed my boat, so now it's just a hobby to keep myself sane. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I do the furniture to like make a living, but I definitely am working hard towards the music. trying to build it towards like to be, honestly, I really want it to be like music, furniture, and fashion, but I'm focusing on trying to make the music a thing. But at the same time, it's kind of just like, I would love for the music to be the thing, but music is so saturated right now. It's like, I just want to do my best and enjoy it and like go perform live, have fun, and like make the best music I can make and see where the chips fall for that. Because forcing the music, it just seems like, I don't know, kind of gay. I don't know. It seems like I would love to. It's just like I've just tried for so long. At this point, it's like I've been at it for like 10 years. So, and it's like I haven't gotten too far, but I'm going to do these live streams and I'm not exactly sure where it'll play out, but I know that I make killer music. It is, I would say it's unique. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily like mainstream per se, but it is unique and it is cool. It is made well. So we'll see where it goes, but I appreciate that, bro. I really do. Yeah, man. Facts. That's the thing is like, I don't want to make anything that isn't authentic. And then like, I don't want to also like put out content that's not authentic. You know what I mean? And make like this like poppy content. Cause it's like, it wastes time and energy on something that I don't even like resonate with. You know what I mean? You can push the music if you know the right people to contact. You're willing to give away 70% of your earnings. Unfortunately, that's just how the game goes. Yeah, man. So I don't know the people, and I'm not really willing to give away 70% of my earnings. My goal is honestly to just keep pushing on the YouTube stuff and like build like a Patreon and build like a following of people, like actual humans, you know, that give a fuck about me and my art and like support it. And then supplement that with like furniture design and fashion design, because I really love furniture and fashion and I love design a lot. So it's like I don't need to make all my money off of music, but if I can build an authentic fan base over the next few years and I have hundreds of songs, you know, my goal is to build up a huge catalog of released music that I resonate with, then theoretically the streaming money plus the performance money plus should create like a baseline earning for me, and then the furniture and fashion can take me to like not be poor, you know what I mean, and actually have like a savings and be able to like, you know, pay for my kids' college and stuff like that. But maybe the music could do all that too. I don't know. I'm not like putting all my weight on that, even though I think it's really good. It's just there's so many people and there's so much money going behind so many different people. It's kind of like, but then there's always people like what's his face that had the Richmond of Richmond. You know, it's like bro just blew up because he was playing out there. And then there's Willie, who was playing his guitar out in like the what's his face was playing just like out in the field and just kept making those videos, and that was authentic. So we'll see where it goes. But anyways, I need to go put Icy Hot on my shoulder because it is not feeling good. But I'll be right back. Through all of the setbacks, so I grew up to the loser. Beach from fire storm. I found myself all over. Truly was you by the music. Living by the depressing. Oh, I grew up back in reckless. Oh, I grew up back in reckless. Started at a young age, if I can cigarette. Didn't get fucked now, Sunday services. Wanna have fun with my friends on the weekend. Mama said, please stay away from the demons. Talking about all the drugs and the bullshit. So now she knew what I was getting is the bullshit. Smoking some cliches and pussy, that's the cool shit. Somebody had turned into my passion, which is foolish. Wishing looking back, I would've had my mouth focused. Lost some inspiration, now I gotta get stoned in. Come on, Thomas. Hey, come on. Thomas. Now. My baby boy has his foot hurt. Come on, Tom Tom. All right. Hey, what's up, Puerto Rico? Yeah, bro, I agree. Wow, that's riveting. Very cool. All right, well, there's the music. And I'll watch some, let's see what's going on in the world. No. I'll put some stuff in my watch later. Where's my watch later at? Alright, let's listen to what Mr. fucking Speaker Johnson has to say.
Joining me now, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Good to have you back. I know that state and federal resources have just poured into that area. Is there anything more that can be done congressionally, legislatively to help these folks?
In a moment like this, we feel just as helpless as everyone else does. I've talked to my colleagues there in Texas, Chip Roy, and Lugar, whose family's, that's Chip's district, his daughter's raised at the camp. We also have Betty Carter of Georgia and grandchildren there. It touches so many families, and the thing to do at this moment is pray. Every available resource has been deployed. The president, of course, is down there and watching this develop moment by moment as we are. And we will handle supplemental funding requests as they come in, but right now we're still trying to do rescue and recovery. Our hearts go out to all of them.
Well, as that continues, you may get emergency requests and supplemental, as you said, here in Washington. You're coming off a major legislative achievement here, which even until the last moment seems it might not come together. Critics within the GOP will talk about that, but clearly Democrats are not fans. You just heard from Congressman Khanna, which I know you're friendly with him, describe what's going to happen in this bill. Here's what DNC Chair Ken Martin said. Donald Trump and the Republican Party sent a message to America. If you are not a billionaire, we don't give a damn about you. 17 million Americans will lose health care, over 5 million will lose food assistance, and millions will lose their jobs. Voters that we talked to in our latest poll very much think that this is going to hurt their family. Put the numbers up there. The largest group says not going to be good for them. You heard what Congressman Khanna said. It's going to make health insurance higher. People are going to lose the assistance they need. And so even if there are tax breaks built in for these different groups, the net offset is a negative.
I love my friend Ro Khanna, that he and the DNC chair there are sharing old, tired talking points. This is what they say every time there's Republican legislation having anything to do with taxes. They are overlooking the actual facts. All that is nonsense. Shannon, what we did in this bill is we made permanent the 2017 Trump's tax cuts, and that was geared for lower and middle class Americans. In spite of everything they said, the bottom 20% of earners saw their lowest federal tax rate in 40 years. Now we're building upon that. We just made that permanent, and we're building upon it because now we've cut tax on overtime and tips and more tax relief for seniors. And we're giving everybody a tax cut, and that's going to help the economy. It's going to be jet fuel. Small business owners, entrepreneurs, risk takers, the people that provide the jobs, manufacturers, farmers get assistance, and that will lift the economy. The Council of Joint Economic Advisors is expecting a 3% growth rate in the economy. That will be incredible. They're expecting 4 million additional jobs to be added. The average American, the typical American household, will have $13,000 more in take-home pay. This is a great thing for people who go to work every day. They're going to feel that. And we're excited about the upcoming election cycle in 26 because people will be riding an economic high, just as we did after the first 2 years of the first Trump administration. This time it's on steroids.
We'll get to the political implications of that, but you talked about these being permanent and across the board. So I want to say something from Democrat out of Maryland, Congressman Glenn.
pro-growth policies in this bill. We also, at the same time, achieved the largest savings for the taxpayers in U.S. history, about $1.6 trillion in savings. So all those things are going to have a great effect. By the way, in the bill, we're also going to secure the border permanently. We're going to return to American energy dominance again, which is going to also be jet fuel the economy. We're going to take care of peace through strength, because we're going to give important investments in our military industrial complex, which will help us in our competition with China. There is so much in this bill. It'd be difficult for us to cover it in one segment, but people are going to feel that, and we're super excited about what we were able to deliver.
Okay, so the vote to get the bill actually to the floor of local record for hours, that vote stayed open. You had a number of GOP holdouts who said there was no way they were gonna vote for this. They were very worried about spending and Medicaid cuts and all kinds of other things. And yet they came around. So the question becomes, what deals were made? There are a couple of members who've said they were given assurances outside of this bill of other things that they would get down the line.
I don't make deals, never have since I became speaker, which is why I'm still surviving with the gavel, right? You have to find out where people's red lines are and navigate through that with what we've had as the smallest margin in U.S. history at most points along the way. But we got it done. No side deals. What the extra time was, we needed that for people to process it. Remember, we got the Senate bill on a Tuesday. They modified a lot of what we did in the House. We worked on for over a year. So we needed a couple of days there for everybody to process what all those changes were and ensure that they knew exactly how that was going to be implemented by the administration. So the president, the vice president, cabinet secretaries were engaged in these discussions, answering questions. It was a full team effort, and that's how we got it over the line.
Okay, so Congressman Keith Self said that there had been promises for other offsets outside the bill itself. You talked about Congressman Chip Roy. He said their reconciliation bill. You've said there's going to be more of that.
Yeah.
He said, referring to promises that Johnson and others said that they would pursue outside of this bill.
Yeah, well, we've been talking about that publicly and privately for a year and a half. We have always planned to do the first big reconciliation bill, which is the big, beautiful bill. Now it's done a huge leap forward for our priorities. But then also we've been planning a second reconciliation bill for the fall. It will be attached to the next fiscal year. And then potentially one in the spring. That's my plan. 3 reconciliation bills before this Congress is over. I think we can do that. And so you'll see more of us advancing these common sense principles to deliver that America First agenda for the people. That's what they elected us to do. And this was a huge leap forward.
So Democrats say they are excited to run on this bill.
Yeah, right.
A DCCC memo obtained by Axios says Republicans are going to lose the majority in 2026 because of this. They call it the GOP tax scam. They say the more that people know about it, the less that they like it. They're also talking about Democrats holding rallies outside of rural hospitals and nursing homes this summer to tell people that they are going to lose their care.
As I said on the House floor the other day, it takes a lot longer to build a lie than to tell the simple truth. Our Republicans are going to be out across the country telling the simple truth, and guess what? It will be demonstrated. Everything has more take home pay, have more jobs and opportunity. The economy will be doing better, and we'll be able to point to that as the obvious result of what we did. So don't buy into those false talking points.
All right, you've got some polls to overcome. We'll see if the messaging battle is won as you did on the Hill. Speaker, always good to see you.
Thanks,
for
man.
coming in.
Oh,
Hey everyone, I'm Emily.
I didn't get that corner
Catch
hop,
me
though.
and my co-host Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday on March 25th, 2020.
Alright, so there it is. We get a little bit of talk about the fucking bill. There's the Republican point of view. Mr. Speaker's pretty happy about it. I guess we'll see who's right. Maybe they're both kind of right. Honestly, I think that's really what it is. I think they're both right. They're just focusing on different points to win their political scheme. So I think it probably will create more jobs and more opportunity and probably save taxes in some ways. But I think it also is probably benefiting the hyper wealthy in many ways too. And which in some ways creates more jobs and more opportunities because they spend more money. I know that all my clients are wealthy people that spend a ridiculous amount of money on things that I could never afford. Like this chair, for instance, right? If I didn't have wealthy people, clients to pay for this, I would be able to do it. Because this chair, this fabric is $180 a yard, right? So that's 5 yards per chair or something like that. So that's almost $1,000 in fabric. Then they're paying me $1,000 per chair when they could just go buy chairs. Plus they're paying the designer fee, which is probably another, I don't know, more money. So without the benefits to the wealthy, then there's less money in the pool. I don't know, less opportunity, but it also devalues the currency. We're going to devalue the currency, so if you don't own assets like a home or land and other things, businesses, then you get even more of the shit end of the stick. And losing the Medicaid and the Medicare, it's not actually losing it, it's just they have different stipulations. So that will make it harder for people, because that's just one more fucking thing to remember in this already busy world. And I mean, if I relied on Medicaid or Medicare and I had a kid or whatever, and I had to remember to always I probably would lose my coverage because I'd forget 1 month that I needed to do it, or file my paperwork or something. I mean, I forget to file my sales tax all the time, and I have to pay a $50 fee every time. So, and instead of a $50 fee, I would lose my coverage. It seems pretty shitty, but at the same time, it will help eliminate fraud in the Medicaid system and Medicare system. So I don't know. I guess seems like they both are technically right. I guess just which one outweighs the other one in real life after it's put into practice. You know what I mean? I guess we'll find out soon enough. Fuck. That's not tight enough. I might have to cut a new one because this is not. I fucked that up. Sometimes I mess things up. These are a little bit harder than the ply grip in some ways. They're also easier in some ways. I probably was just distracted because I was listening to the politics. Alright, let's see about this Diddy case. Let's see what's going on with Mr. Diddler.
The world watched as the Department of Homeland Security rolled up in armored vehicles and with weapons drawn, conducted a raid on the home of Sean John Combs, also known as Diddy. For decades, we've heard about these lavish parties thrown by Diddy in this very home. Actors, actresses, politicians, anyone and everyone who had wealth or power attended these parties. And from some of the people who attended these parties, we heard stories of we also heard stories of blackmail in the industry done by people like Diddy.
After all this stuff about Diddy, I called my boy. I said, man, what was they gonna do? What was gonna happen if I did? If I had stayed over there and I was He said, hey man, you was gonna be caught on tape with a triple glizzy. And then blackmail. Then I would have been under the top.
And so, when we heard that the raid on Diddy's homes found hidden cameras and microphones in every room, we all expected the world to come crashing down on Diddy. We all expected for Hollywood secrets to be exposed. And when the investigation focused on Astroglide and baby oil, it felt like there was a sleight of hand, like we were being distracted from a bigger story.
So if we have him, why does it seem that the story is still much bigger?
There was always something that felt off about
Okay, here we go.
to me. They found defaced guns in his home, but he was never charged with possession of illegal weapons. They found illegal drugs in his home, but he was never charged with possession of illegal drugs. The day he was arrested, they found illegal drugs in his hotel room, but still, no drug charges. They could have brought those charges against him, and those charges would have been very easy to prove, but instead, they focused on free cops and charged him with RICO. Many of us had hope that although these charges weren't exactly what we were expecting, we believed that Diddy's days of getting away with his crimes would be over. But, seems like we're wrong. Hello everyone, if you're a new viewer, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If this is your second or fourth time watching one of my videos, if you are not yet subscribed, already go together. Okay, make it official. And hit that subscribe button so the verdict isn't for the Diddy trial. Diddy was facing up to life in prison for the crimes he was accused of, and he was only found guilty on some of the charges. The 2 counts he was found guilty of are transportation to engage in prostitution. Each of those charges comes with up to 10 years in prison, so it's up to the judge to decide how much time he wants to give Diddy for each count, and if he wants Diddy to serve his sentences concurrently or consecutively. As of the making of this video, the judge has denied him bail before his sentencing hearing, so as of right now, he is still inmate 37452-054. It's a small victory for those of us who wanted to see him be held accountable. I'm accountable. And it's a small victory for his victims, but still, he got away with the more serious charges. The jury acquitted him of trafficking Cassie and Daphne, Jane. They acquitted him of RICO. And this whole thing really doesn't sit well with my spirit. And I'll explain why. During the trial, we heard a lot of talks that Cassie and Jane did in various hotel rooms such as New York, LA, Miami, and on yachts in exotic locations. And the video evidence of these freak-offs or hotel nights were shown to the jury, and much of the evidence that was presented in court came from either Cassie's cell phone and laptops, Christina Coram's cell phones and laptops, and Jane's cell phones and laptops. But what about all the cameras and microphones Diddy had in his properties? You know, the ones that were confiscated during the raid? None of that evidence was brought up at trial. You might be thinking, well, maybe there was no evidence taken from Diddy's home. Well, back in September of 2024, the New York Post wrote an article where they interviewed one of the Homeland Security officers who participated in this raid. And these are excerpts from that article. Quote, "Important new details have emerged of the so-called sex that Sean Diddy Combs allegedly kept in his Miami mansion, filled with sex toys, gear, hidden cameras, and lingerie, according to several sources. Space rappers as Epstein, one of the Department of Homeland Security agents who helped raid the boat, claims that the music mogul had rooms that were clearly dedicated to sex, with cameras all around. So if you're in those sex parties, you're being recorded from every possible angle, including angles you wouldn't have known about. In my opinion, he's as bad as Jeffrey. These women are young, either barely legal or barely illegal. So my question is, who are these barely legal women that this agent from the Department of Homeland Security was talking about? Cassie was of legal age when she was dating Diddy, and her age is well documented. Jane was of legal age when she was dating Diddy, and her age is well documented. Okay, Gina, who was the victim who mysteriously went MIA during the trial and never ended up testifying, she was of legal age when she was dating Diddy. All of the victims who were mentioned during the trial were adults. So who are these barely legal people that the officer was talking about when he spoke to the New York Post back in March of 2024? Where are these people? Why weren't these victims called to testify? You know who else wasn't called to testify? Jonathan Odie, who has been sitting in prison for 7 years without a trial. He was the first person to come forward back in 2018, and he was saying that he was doing these freak-offs with Cassie before anybody knew about it. And Jonathan Odie says that he heard phone calls. He heard Diddy talking about a lot of business. And he also said that Diddy is a Freemason.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
He also Combs.
Oh, Diddy.
Yeah.
He did whatever he told us. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Monet. The Monet is a branch of the Illuminati.
Well, that's interesting. So this guy, who clearly knows a lot about Diddy, was never called to testify. You know who else was never called to testify? Lil Rod. Lil Rod filed a lawsuit against Diddy where he made tons of accusations, many of which were corroborated during his Diddy trial, such as Diddy having women on payroll to engage in sex with prostitutes. Lil Rod said in his lawsuit that he had full knowledge of this, and he even named Diddy's accountant Robin Greenhill. And guess whose name came up during the trial? Robin Greenhill. She in fact was Diddy's accountant, and she in fact was facilitating these payments, and it was corroborated during the Diddy trial. You know what else was mentioned in Lil Rod's lawsuit? Illegal firearms. You know what the feds found during the raid in Diddy's homes? Rubber duckies and illegal firearms, just making sure you're paying attention. And that was glossed over during the Diddy trial. Why did he have them? What were they used for? Who gave them to him? We don't know any of this. It was all completely glossed over. And why wasn't he charged with possession of illegal firearms? That would have been such an easy charge to prove. It was mentioned during the trial, but it wasn't even listed as a predicate offense under RICO. They completely glossed over it. And when you take into account what Lil Rod said about these illegal firearms in his lawsuit, it is very suspicious that this never came up at the trial.
Mr. Combs would also make me work out of this bedroom whenever he had gang members and drug dealers visit him. I've witnessed Mr. Combs hand out guns from the hidden room in his bedroom closet. I've witnessed known gang members at his home in LA and Miami be paid for the stacks of cash he has in the hidden room in his bedroom closet.
Oh, and you know what else in his lawsuit, and he provided pictures of it, was Tucci. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I don't think it's okay, but it was pink coke mixed with X. And Lil Rod mentioned that Diddy made his staff carry it around, transport it from state to state, and he provided pictures of it in his lawsuit. And guess what the feds found not only in Diddy's home, but they found it in his hotel room the day that he was arrested. Pink booger sugar. And despite the fact that the day he was arrested, they found him with this pink booger sugar, he's never been charged with possession for that specific incident. Had you and I been found with the substance, you know what would have happened. But still, he wasn't charged with being in possession of this illegal substance or any of these illegal substances. It was mentioned under the RICO, which was a very difficult charge to prove because the enterprise and all that it was a little iffy, right? They could have just charged him with possession of this substance because they literally found it in a hotel room, never charged with it. But the point that I'm trying to make is that a lot of what Lil Rod said in his lawsuit was very specific and was corroborated during this 8-week Diddy trial. And that is exactly why I believe this trial was a cover-up. Because Lil Rod's most serious allegations went unaddressed. These are excerpts from Lil Rod's lawsuit. Quote, Mr. Combs providing laced alcoholic beverages to minors and workers at his homes in California, New York, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Florida. Defendant and their people and providing express information from the why hasn't he been held accountable for it? Inquiring minds let to know. There's also the fact that in Lil Rod's lawsuit, he says that Diddy was holding blackmail material of various powerful people.
Unbeknownst to me, Mr. Combs had hidden cameras and audio devices in all the rooms of his homes. I only discovered this several months into living with him when I had to pick up my Uber Eats delivery from the security office. Usually, the security would bring my food deliveries to me whenever I was in Mr. Combs' home, but at this point, I was close and familiar with the security, so they called me to their room and told me I could go in and retrieve my food myself. I saw 4 to 6 large flat-screen television monitors at the time. Each monitor had at least 20 to 30 little screens in them. Each screen was a view of the room in and surrounding Mr. Combs' home.
And another fact that got overlooked was that Lil Rod alleged that other entities were funding Diddy's lifestyle.
He says that Combs was very aware of the power he had and made sure that everyone around him knew it too. Quote, throughout my time living with Mr. Combs, he made it very clear that he did not spend his money on anything. It was clear that he had partnerships and relationships with very powerful individuals and organizations, and these individuals and organizations funded his lifestyle. He bragged about his departed attorney Johnny Cochran's savvy legal skills and ability to pay off the witnesses through private investigators and other third parties. Mr. Combs also informed me that only poor people pay taxes. He shared that it is a common practice in the music industry to wire money from anonymous accounts overseas. This way, if there is ever a need to take care of a problem, it would never be traced back to him. These accounts were in Germany.
Many people have accused Diddy of running a vast blackmail operation, and that angle wasn't even touched in the criminal investigation. The people walked into the room, just sat there, and they all had to act like it didn't exist, because celebrities kept denying that they participated in free-cops. One after the other, they all said no, we don't know anything, we're shocked, oh my gosh, we had no idea, we had no idea, oh my gosh, we had no idea. I wasn't invited to the free-cops, I had no idea what, I don't know. Even Dave Chappelle had a really funny bit about it.
A lot of my friends asked me, they said, Dave, did you know anything about those freak off parties? I'm like, no. I know anything about freak off. And they all look at me like, and they're like, well, how are these people you know was at freak off? But she's the only one that's at freak off. And I thought about it for a minute, I said, my God. I'm ugly.
Here's the thing. In my opinion, people are asking the wrong question. The question isn't, did you participate in a freak-off with Diddy? The question is, while you were in Diddy's home, did you do anything that you wouldn't want the world to know about? Because according to the feds, Diddy had cameras and microphones all over his house. And it just makes me wonder if this entire investigation was a covert operation to retrieve whatever intel Diddy had in his possession. Because it is very interesting that zero footage inside his homes were ever brought up during the trial, despite the fact that the feds had confiscated it. And if Diddy did have blackmail materials, who has it now? And what do we plan to do with it? These are the same questions that we asked about Epstein. Diddy was just as much entrenched in the elite power structure as Epstein was. For example, Ron Burkle. Back in 2003, Ron Burkle invested $100 million into Diddy's fashion brand, Sean John. Ron Burkle is also the godfather to Diddy's children, and Ron Burkle had ties to Epstein, and he often flew on Epstein's jet alongside his good friend Bill Clinton, who often was in attendance too on these many occasions. There's also Clive Davis. In 1993, Diddy founded Bad Boy Records, and he was able to fund his record label by doing a joint venture with Arista Records. Arista Records was co-founded by Clive Davis and run by Clive Davis at the time. Arista provided funding and distribution deals to Bad Boy Records, and it was also rumored that Clive Davis and Diddy had a sexual relationship. So when Bad Boy Records first started, it was being propped up by Clive Davis's company, Arista Records. And Clive Davis had a very close relationship with Diddy. Well, Clive Davis has a very close personal and financial relationship with members of the Mega Group. The Mega Group provided financing to Clive Davis throughout his career, and they also connected him with very powerful people. Now, what is the Mega Group, you might ask? Well, according to Wikipedia, the Mega Group was an informal group of influential Jewish entrepreneurs involved in Jewish affairs. It was founded in 1991 by Les Wexner and Charles Bronfman. It is said to have had up to 50 members, including Hollywood director Steven Spielberg. Jeffrey Epstein is said to have used the group to build up his network of high-ranking contacts in business, media, and politics. So Epstein used the Mega Group to build up his network. And so did Clive Davis. And who is Clive Davis's protege? Anyways, that's all I have for this video. Let me stop talking before I get myself in trouble. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button. If you are not yet subscribed, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. A special thanks to those of you who are supporting me on Patreon. If you too would like to financially support my channel, the link to
Oh, sorry, I sent everybody away.
box down below, as well as the link to my other video that I mentioned about Diddy and the cartel guy. If you like this video and you'd like to see more like it,
Here's the nice thing, how pirates drank clean drinking water on their ships.
You might think pirates spent most of their time sword fighting and hunting treasure, but their biggest enemy wasn't other sailors or royal navies. It was something much simpler, finding clean water to drink. Let me tell you something funny about sailing in the 1700s. Ships could carry enough salted meat and hardtack to feed a crew for months, but water? That stuff turned into a disgusting soup of algae and bacteria faster than you could say, yo ho ho.
Yeah.
The average pirate needed at least a gallon of water every day just to stay alive in the scorching heat of the Caribbean. Do the math. For a crew of 50 pirates, that's 50 gallons daily. No wonder water was more valuable than gold sometimes. Here's where things get interesting and kind of gross. Some desperate pirates actually tried drinking seawater when they ran out of fresh water. Bad idea. Really bad idea. Seawater has about 3.5% salt content, which is way more than our bodies can handle. Drinking it basically tells your kidneys, hey, time to work overtime. Your body uses more water trying to get rid of all that salt than the amount of water you drank in the first place.
Oopsie.
Some pirates learned this the hard way, and let's just say it wasn't pretty. I once read about a pirate ship that had been running low on water for days, and some crew members were so thirsty they started drinking seawater mixed with wine, thinking the alcohol would make it safe. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Most of them got violently sick, and it actually made their situation way worse. Now, you'd think someone would have come up with a better solution, but remember, this was long before plastic containers or water purification systems. The best they could do was try to keep their water in the coolest part of the ship, usually in the hold below deck. But even then, the rolling of the ship, the heat, and the humidity meant that clean water was always a precious commodity. The water situation got so bad sometimes that pirates would completely change their planned routes just because they heard about a freshwater spring on some random island. Imagine being the most feared pirates in the Caribbean, but having to make a detour because you're dying for a drink of clean water. Talk about ruining your fearsome reputation. Speaking of reputations, there's a lesser-known story about the infamous Blackbeard. Everyone knows him as this terrifying pirate who put smoking fuses in his beard to scare people. But what most don't know is that he was actually pretty clever about water management. He would specifically target ships that he knew were carrying fresh water supplies along with their cargo. Smart guy, right? When things got really desperate, pirates had to turn to their most reliable backup plan, the sky itself. And trust me, when those rain clouds appeared on the horizon, you'd never see a crew move faster to their positions. The moment a storm rolled in, the entire ship transformed into one giant water catching machine. The deck became busier than a seafood market on discount day. Pirates actually had a whole system worked out for catching rain. The sails, those massive sheets of canvas that usually caught the wind, became giant funnels when tilted just right. During storms, you'd see crew members adjusting the sails at specific angles, creating what they called water channels. Sometimes they'd fight over who got to position which sail because everyone knew the forward sails caught the cleanest water. Less bird poop to deal with, if you know what I mean. The clever part is how they used every single surface on the ship. Those wooden railing gutters that usually kept seawater from washing across the deck. During rainstorms, they used water highways and precious fresh water straight into waiting containers. The crazy pirates carved extra crews and deck planking to help guide more water towards their collection. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Flood totally intense. Rain collection was only $7. First off, the initial rain that hit the ship was usually pretty dirty. Birds didn't do their business on those sails for weeks. The salt sea spray had built up. Smart pirates were the first to bring all the water and really clean before they started. They called it letting the deck have its bath. Funny detail was history books mentioned. During big storms, sailors running around with their hats upside down, trying to catch the water. Some would even strip off their shirts and bring them out in containers. Funny how unexpected furniture was watching the pirate crew move like soaring gas really forward to maximize the water collection. But you couldn't always count on rain. Sometimes ships would go without seeing a single cloud. That's when pirates got really creative with their water techniques. Sprinkle water usage is stricter than the rules of fighting or finding treasure. Breaking the water rules could get you in more trouble than stealing from the captain himself. There's this great story about a pirate ship called the Morning Star, where the crew caught so much rain during one storm that they had enough water for 2 extra weeks at sea. They celebrated by having a rain feast where everyone got an extra ration of water, which might not sound like much of a party to us today, but back then it was better than finding a chest full of gold. The really skilled pirates could even predict when and where they might find rain by watching the clouds and seabirds. They'd adjust their entire route just to sail through areas where they thought they might catch a good storm. Makes you wonder if some of those fearsome pirates were really just expert meteorologists in disguise. But even with all these clever rain-catching tricks, there were still times when the sky stayed stubbornly clear. That's when pirates had to turn to their life-saving backup plan. When the rain barrels ran dry and the skies stayed clear, pirates had to become expert water hunters on land. Forget treasure maps. The most valuable maps in a pirate's collection were the ones marking freshwater springs and rivers. These water maps were kept more secret than buried treasure locations, and for good reason. A good water source could mean the difference between life and death. The first trick every pirate learned was to look for green plants. Sounds obvious, right? But there's more to it than just finding the nearest palm tree. Pirates figured out that certain plants were better water indicators than others. Coconut palms might look tropical and pretty, but they can actually grow in pretty dry soil. The real water finders were plants like ferns and thick grass. They needed constant moisture to survive. Some clever pirates even learned to spot morning glory vines, which almost always meant fresh water was nearby. Here's where it gets interesting. Pirates became experts at digging what we now call seepage wells. About 50 feet inland from the beach, they'd dig holes in the sand. Slowly, these holes would fill with filtered fresh water. The sand acted like a natural filter, keeping the salt water out while letting fresh groundwater seep in. Pretty smart for a bunch of guys who spent most of their time breaking the law. But my favorite water finding technique has to be what I call the bird trick. Pirates would watch for birds, especially in the early morning or late afternoon. Birds need to drink too, and they usually do it at the same time each day. If you saw a group of birds all flying in one direction, chances were good they were heading for water. One pirate captain wrote in his journal that he found his best water source by following a flock of parrots. Though he complained that they made so much noise, it was like they were mocking him the whole way there. Sometimes pirates got really desperate and had to raid coastal towns just for water. Talk about awkward. Imagine being the most feared pirates in the Caribbean, and instead of stealing gold and jewels, you're running off with barrels of water. There's actually a funny story about a pirate crew that raided a Spanish settlement in 1718. They stole all the water barrels, but felt so bad about it that they left behind a small bag of gold coins as payment. I guess even pirates had their moments of guilt. The really skilled water hunters learned to read the land itself. They looked for V-shaped valleys, which often had streams running through them. In rocky areas, they searched for dark streaks on cliff faces, which meant water was seeping out of the rock. Some pirates even claimed they could smell water from a distance, though that might have had more to do with the rum they were drinking than any actual water-finding skills. Some pirate crews actually kidnapped local guides who knew where to find water, but this often backfired hilariously. One captured guide led a crew in circles for 3 days before they realized he was just messing with them. Another guide took them to a spring all right, one that was home to a bunch of very unhappy crocodiles. After a few incidents like that, most pirates decided it was better to make friends with locals rather than force them to help. One of the cleverest techniques I've heard about was the dew collection trick. Pirates would dig slanted holes and line them with large leaves. In the morning, dew would collect on the leaves and run down into containers. It wasn't much, but when you're desperate for fresh water, every drop counts. But finding water was only half the battle. Once pirates had their precious fresh water, they needed somewhere to store it. And those wooden barrels they used weren't exactly the best containers. The biggest challenge pirates faced wasn't actually getting water, it was keeping it drinkable in those massive wooden barrels. These weren't your backyard beer kegs. We're talking about huge hogshead barrels that could hold 63 gallons each. A decent-sized pirate ship would need about 30 of these monsters just to hold enough water for a month at sea. Do the math. That's nearly 2,000 gallons sloshing around in the hold. The real enemy wasn't the barrels themselves, but what started growing inside them after a few weeks at sea. The combination of heat, moisture, and wooden walls created the perfect breeding ground for all sorts of nasty stuff. Pirates called water that had gone bad live water because you could actually see tiny creatures swimming around in it. One pirate's journal from 1716 described it as drinking a mouthful of wiggling worms with every sip. Appetizing, right? But pirates came up with some pretty clever tricks to fight the rot. One of their best innovations was charring the inside of barrels, basically turning them into giant water-holding charcoal filters. They burned the inside layer of wood until it turned black, creating a protective barrier. It's the same technique that's still used today to make whiskey barrels, though I doubt the pirates were thinking about aged bourbon when they came up with it. Pirates discovered that dropping silver coins into their water barrels helped keep the water fresh longer. They didn't know about bacteria back then, but they knew silver had some kind of magical purifying power. Modern science has proven they were actually onto something. Silver really does have natural antibacterial properties. Talk about striking gold with silver. The most meticulous pirates would seal their barrel seams with a mixture of tar and resin. Some crews even developed their own secret recipes for barrel sealant, mixing in everything from beeswax to coconut oil. There's a story about one pirate captain who was so protective of his barrel sealing formula that he would make his crew turn their backs while he applied it. When he was finally captured, the British Navy offered to reduce his sentence if he'd share his secret. He refused, probably taking history's best barrel sealing recipe to his grave. Temperature was another huge factor in water storage. Pirates figured out that keeping barrels in the coolest part of the ship helped slow down the rot. But here's the problem. The lowest deck of a ship, where it was coolest, was also where the ship moved the most. If you had to choose between slightly less rotten water or barrels that weren't constantly trying to break free and roll around the hold like bowling balls in an earthquake. One particularly enterprising crew tried wrapping their barrels in wet sailcloth, hoping the evaporation would keep them cool. Great idea in theory, but all they ended up with was moldy sailcloth and water that still went bad. Another crew tried painting their barrels white to reflect heat, only to discover that white paint in the 1700s contained lead. That definitely made the water last longer, but for all the wrong reasons. The funniest attempts at water preservation came from superstitious pirates who thought bad water was caused by evil spirits. They perform elaborate blessing ceremonies over new barrels, complete with chants and dances. One crew even hired a water witch to bless their barrels. Surprisingly, their water did stay fresh longer, probably because the witch was secretly adding charcoal to the barrels when no one was looking. Even with all these clever tricks, pirates still had to deal with water that went bad. When the barrel water started turning green and growing things, they needed a backup plan. And that's where they got really creative with their own DIY systems. Their DIY water filtration methods ranged from surprisingly clever to hilariously desperate. Ever tried to filter water through your hat? Well, pirates did, though I wouldn't recommend drinking anything that's been through a pirate's hat. The basic pirate water filter is pretty simple. Take a piece of clean cloth or what passed for clean on a pirate ship, stretch it over a container, and pour the gunky water through it. This caught the big stuff, like those tiny wiggling worms and bits of floating algae. One pirate wrote in his journal that the cloth would get so green after filtering that it looked like seaweed had mated with his best shirt. A few creative pirates even tried to copy what they'd seen on tropical islands where water naturally filtered through layers of sand and rock. They'd build these mini filtration systems using whatever they could find on board. Broken pottery, crushed seashells, even bits of coral they'd picked up from their last raid. One captain swore that filtering water through a layer of smashed pearl necklaces made it taste better. Pretty expensive water filter, if you ask me. Some pirates actually tried to desalinate seawater by boiling it and catching the steam. They'd hang wet cloths above boiling pots of seawater, wait for the cloth to get soaked with condensation, then wring it out into clean containers. Did it work? Kind of. Was it worth the effort? Well, considering it took about a gallon of drinking water's worth of wood to boil enough seawater to make a cup of fresh water, do the award for the most desperate filtration attempt goes to a crew that tried to filter their water through tobacco leaves because they'd heard tobacco killed germs. Spoiler alert, it just made the water taste like someone had emptied a garbage tray into it. They might have had better luck soaking the water than those guilty pirates. Someone might try that too. When citrus fruits were available, pirates would sometimes squeeze them into their filters. They were trying to make better lemonade. The essentially actually helped with harmful bacteria. Which was like being too busy to one line. Unfortunately, most pirates had no idea why this worked. Just knew that clean, red wine water was not safe less often than crews forget. The most successful filtering method turned out to be the simplest. If you let bad water sit long enough in a clean container, the nasty stuff would eventually settle in the water. Pirates called this sleeping water because they let it take a nap or drink. Not the most scientific explanation, but if whatever works with the middle of the ocean, questionable water to drink. Speaking of questionable water, some pirates use a completely different approach to their water from that. Although this method is somewhat disgusting, it saved countless lives on the sea. Most people think pirates drank rum because they loved getting drunk. Well, that's only half the story. They were actually trying to stay alive. Rum wasn't just a party drink, it was their version of a water purification tablet. Mixed with water to make grog, it helped kill bacteria and make even the nastiest water somewhat drinkable. The official recipe for grog went something like this. Take 1 part rum, mix it with 4 parts water, add a splash of lime juice if you're feeling fancy, and congratulations. You've just made yourself a pirate version of a water treatment plant. The alcohol content was just enough to kill off some of the nasty bacteria growing in their water supplies, while the lime helped prevent scurvy. Talk about efficiency. Treating your water and getting your vitamin C all in one drink. But grog wasn't invented by pirates at all. It was actually created by British Admiral Edward Vernon in 1740. The sailors nicknamed him Old Grog. because he wore a Grogram cloak, a kind of rough fabric, and that's how the drink got its name. Pirates just borrowed the idea, like they do with most things, though I'm pretty sure they didn't fill out a patent application for their version. The math behind grog is actually pretty fascinating. A typical pirate ship with 50 crew members would go through about 70 gallons of rum per week just for making grog. That's more than a gallon per person. Of course, some of that rum mysteriously evaporated before it made it into the grog barrel. Pirates called this phenomenon the angel share, though these angels seem to have quite a drinking problem. Different pirate captains had their own special grog recipes. Some added sugar.
I think this
to make
is
it taste
definitely
better.
an AI
Others
channel.
threw in spices like nutmeg or cinnamon. One particularly creative captain added mint leaves and called it a Caribbean cocktail.
Alright,
1 million monthly listeners, 600,000 monthly listeners. Is Spotify actually behind all of this? I think playlist manipulation. I noticed the fact that Timbaland was following this band to steal not just their music, but their name, likeness, and I go, why are they allowing it? I don't think it's an overstatement that the streaming ecosystem is changing overnight. Just in the last week, the number of AI bans that have been popping up, at least according to Music Business Worldwide, was something like 13, 14 that they identified, and they go about 4 million streams are attributable to these AI artists or AI bands. Now here's the thing, I'm not seeing a lot of people talking about what I am the most worried about in this situation, because obviously AI music, AI artists, this is a thing. This is not the first time we're finding out about this. And this week I covered the Velvet Sundown. At the time, they had maybe 500,000 streams. And I just go, look, my biggest concern here is I go to the bio for this band, and the bio very clearly makes it seem like these are humans making human-made music and how they are representing themselves to the world. And I go, this is the first jump-off point that I'm going from on just being like, I'm kind of concerned because there are consumer fraud issues that come up. But this is not where the analysis ends. Funny enough, I actually went to the Instagram for this
Consumer
band,
fraud.
and I saw that Timbaland is following. And I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but as I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole, I go, people are upset because they go, there seems to be bad actors right now that are deceiving, that are arguably stealing. And my question is, well, who are they? So in the realm of who are the bad actors, are we talking about people who have made AI music, or is Spotify actually behind all of this? Context. Spotify is a digital service provider, and we know that it is paying out tens of billions of dollars of royalties. So in this, we go, well, with this bundling situation that came up, so now people's music is being bundled with audiobooks, which means human-made authors are getting paid less. There's this dilution issue. And so I go, wouldn't it be advantageous for Spotify to have to pay out less, and would it be paying out less if we're talking about AI artists? So let me start by talking about Deezer. If you guys remember, Deezer is now trying to be like the watchdog for AI music, and so it's very like, we're going to call you out, we'll tag you if your stuff is AI generated. We also are not going to pay you royalties if your stuff is AI generated, so we really want to protect human-made music.
Get 'em.
And so I go, we've all been real curious about whether Spotify was going to do something similar. And so me, the lawyer here, looking at the terms of service for Spotify, this is where this is potentially the biggest exposure for Spotify and what's really happening.
Cut this to make it
Because
more
with
square.
all these AI artists and bands, going viral. We'll talk about a couple of them. Having a casual 1 million monthly listeners, that's interesting. Spotify's not managing this. Spotify is not deleting these profiles, and in fact, what these AI band creators are doing is a violation of the Spotify's own terms of use. So look, we're gonna go and do the deep dive. If this is something that you dig, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe. So in the realm of Spotify and how it's kind of involved in all of this, so I just start with, well, we know Spotify has the tech, it has the resources to be able to identify AI music in general. And we know that it has the ability to also disclose if something is made with AI, but it's not doing that yet. And I go, why not? So let me start with a couple case studies. I had said Music Business Worldwide had identified about 13 different acts, 4 million streams. So I just go, well, we know that the state and federal laws prohibiting consumer confusion and intentionally misleading the public. And so when I go with these bands are representing themselves to be real bands, and even, what was it? The Velvet Sundown came back recently and goes, No, we are a real band. I'll give Ben Jordan a quick shout out. He posted yesterday. He said, I ran the Velvet Sundown Dustin Silence album in both CD quality, uncompressed, and 24-bit, 96 hertz, both passed transcode detection. Every single track returned AI detection with 100% confidence on my AI detection algorithm chain. I had a model, was generative model, looks like it was Suno, ranging from their version 3, 3.5, and 4.0. So, as a journalist who has also co-founded an AI rights company, there's your evidence. So it's kind of like with the Velvet Sundown now coming back and saying, oh no, we are in fact a real band with obviously no evidence to support this, and it seems for everyone else who is looking at the music, analyzing it, running it through their little AI detection software, it's coming back as, no, this is an AI creator who has created this band and is intentionally, fraudulently misrepresenting to the public, and so we go, what's the problem with that? Well, the problem, arguably, is that you have someone who's usurping royalties and trying to compete by pretending and presenting to the world to be real human-made music. And so for some of these acts, they're actually selling merch. So they are literally usurping opportunities. So you go, well, why would they represent, again, to the world, do a little follow-up, we are a real AI band? Well, it might just be a marketing ploy, because here we all are still talking about it. And since I spoke on this 2 days ago, they are now up to over 750,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. Now I go back to the whole, I noticed the fact that Timbaland was following this band on Instagram. I just go, okay, this could potentially be that Spotify is allowing these AI artists and bands, so basically AI music, to get a big burst. And so we've seen a ton of different AI acts going viral, and they're getting playlist preferential pushes, Discover Weekly, and all these things. They're trimming the algorithm. And I'm wondering if Spotify is intentionally doing this because they are trying to do a little test. And I go, well, if these are not Spotify created AI songs, right? So maybe it's not actually Spotify behind it. It's that they're just allowing and supporting the AI music. Maybe they're doing it to test and see whether it can perform just as good as other people's songs. Maybe the average listener on Spotify is just very passive, and so they're really just looking for these playlists, these mood playlists that Spotify keep talking about. They really focus. It's not about the artists, it's not about people's brands or anything like that. It's about having mood playlists, and so if we can just shove in a bunch of AI music, well, if ultimately Spotify's intention is to usurp more royalties or keep more royalties for itself, wouldn't it be advantageous that it just make its own AI music? And so maybe this is a glorified test to kind of see, and maybe they thought no one would notice, but here we are noticing. And so besides the Velvet Sundown, there is Aventus. This is a verified outlaw country AI artist with 1 million. And I go, is there anything here to lead me to believe or to think that this is a real human? I see there are 3 albums that were dropped very close in time. Go to the bio, I want to know. So this is a dark country project, rising the scene of gritty melodies, outlaw storytelling, dark cinematic tone, and then it does say, as you kind of cruise on down here, harnessing the creative power of AI as part of his artistic process. Aventus brings a bold new genre, wild storytelling, and all that good stuff. So we go, all right, well, is that enough disclosure? Is that enough for someone that they can reasonably know that this is an AI artist? At least to this creator's credit, they do at least have it in the bio. I stalked a little bit further, and I'm like, well, who's claiming the copyright? So it's 2025 Aventus Music for the copyright. I went to the YouTube, 33,000 subscribers as of now. And funny enough, YouTube actually is tattling. In the description on YouTube, it says, quote, how this content was made was altered and or synthetic, so sound or visuals were significantly edited, digitally generated. Again, though, I had cruise on through the description and to find this information. So I just go, all right, so to what extent does the disclosure piece have to be there? Because if we're not going to put it on the AI creators to properly disclose, they are blatantly lying in their bios, or if they actually just put it in the bio, is it enough for the average person to just know? And if they are in all agreements and they love the AI music and it resonates with them, great. But I think that disclosure is an important piece here. One of the other AI bands, acts that I came across is The Devil Inside. So currently, 600,000 monthly listeners. Same as is going through. We go quite the discography, pumping out A whole lot of albums, very impressive. All the images that I can see thus far, it looks like AI. The Devil Inside is a dark country. It's been making waves in the music scene with their haunting melodies and brooding lyrics hailing from the rugged landscapes of the American South, looking for anything about disclosing that this is made with AI, with lyrics. Okay, no, the songs are based on real creative inspiration, but the characters are illustrated. Is that fair disclosure that these are AI songs? The images are part of a carefully crafted visual world that complements the music's dark cinematic atmosphere, much like a graphic novel or a fictional film universe. So, The Devil Inside, AI bands, hundreds of thousands of weekly listeners. Another band, in fact, has the name. This popped out to me again as an IP attorney. I went on and I go, The Devil Inside, that's a pre-existing band that is now being crushed by this AI band. When you go to search this name, you find this AI band. You don't find the other band that was already there. Now look, with the dollar sign down, I went diving because I go, I'm really interested about how many playlists this band has. And I go, I think the creator, assuming this is not Spotify itself, but that the creator of this AI band is using some playlist manipulation, because I gotta tell ya, I am seeing the most incredible diversity of random, very similar playlists. So meaning I'm just seeing all of these people creating very similar playlists using the title of the band's name and then just regurgitating it. And so I go, to the extent that this is someone who is manipulating, let's say, the Spotify algorithm, and maybe Spotify is not involved in it. Maybe Spotify is not experimenting and running tests. So let's pretend that's the case for a moment. We go, well, we use like playlist warfare. You can trigger Discover Weekly, Release Radar, daily mixes, and I just go, if this is someone who is manipulating Spotify, one indicator of that would absolutely be what I'm seeing with the playlists. And then that also triggers, if you guys see that at the bottom of artists' Spotify profiles, it'll be fans also like, and it'll recommend someone. And so you can kind of get yourself recommended again by, if you're honestly getting your real fans to go and add your stuff to playlists, create playlists around your music. But again, I'm just seeing an incredible amount of volume. And in fact, let me just see if I can pull this up. So just for kicks and giggles, going into their bio, let's see if they updated it. Nope, this band was still formed by a singer, gay, tolerant, like have not that discovered on alright, and then playlist. You know, I discovered on about 2 down, you know, like that's but the velvet countdown, you see it. Over and over playlist created. So I go, alright, that's unusual, but we're making it like that. So then I go into Spotify, I put Spotify title, so it's 20. So now, no, we will not tolerate we will not tolerate violating the fact. And so it means your actual service, they say, you cannot do these things, otherwise you're going to get deleted, you're going to get punished, the ultimate that we can, but they are enforced. So our big question is, why not? Now, today I'm going to ask on TikTok, Nobi, and I want to share Nobi because this is a different type of infringement. Again, in the intellectual property realm of not just now an AI artist coming and creating music and misrepresenting that they are a human creator. This situation came across, and I ended up talking to this artist. So let me share her story.
Someone made an AI artist project with my name, and maybe my likeness, actually, come to think about it. The music sounds very similar to mine, yet she has about 262,000 monthly listeners, and I had like 4,000. And all of her songs have hundreds of thousands of streams. I don't even know what to say about it. When you search my name, this is the first artist that comes up. And I've just seen another video of someone sharing this happening to them. This is freaking me out. It's like, I'm not gonna let it ruin my life, but I'm just surprised that this kind of thing is happening and people are actually listening to this. It does sound like AI music. It doesn't sound as authentic as real music to me, but what are we doing about this?
So I reached out to this creator and I just go, look, like, let's talk about this from the intellectual property realm. What are we gonna do? So what she can do and what you can do in these situations, if this happens to you, is you go and you get your trademark immediately. You get the trademark, it at least gives you some remedy for someone who is stealing your name. The fact that someone would come, find a real human artist that's making creative works, that is making music, and to steal not just potentially their music, but their name, their likeness, these are all different rights that you have as a creator, as an independent artist. And so in any case, I just kind of walked you through it. I go, get your trademark immediately, and then as soon as you have that, you can file takedowns. That is one remedy that you have in this situation. The other kind of downside to this that she's struggling through is that you have someone who's not going to cause confusion, and this Navi on Spotify has right now over 200, coming up on 300,000 monthly listeners. It's representing itself to be real. These AI artists, these AI fan pages are also getting verified, and so they're getting those blue check marks. And none of this is getting regulated, dealt with by Spotify. And we're asking, why is Spotify silently sitting by while these misrepresentations are happening? I posted about this yesterday on Spotify's Attorney on Instagram, but I basically just kind of gave you guys the feedback on the CEO's Daniel Ek. He helped to raise about $700 million for housing. This is basically an AI military tech firm raising obviously further concerns about the royalties that are being earned, the money that is being earned on this platform, that it's going essentially to a tech company making AI weapons for war. So as you guys are coming in the comments and leaving your feedback, some of you are calling Ek a warmonger, that you're pulling your music off of Spotify altogether. And so this is where the whole sell before you stream comes into play. We talk about this because if you are going to take your music off of Spotify and different platforms, you should 100% be doing this, but you need to be doing this method either way. And this is the method where you actually sell your music directly to your fans on your website, on Bandcamp. And that if you ever do put your music on a streaming platform like Spotify, you do it as a very last step. You treat it like glorified marketing, because that's not the way that you're going to make money. So the good news is that if you decide, you know what, I'm done with Spotify, I'm done with any of these platforms, you have the right to make that decision, and you have a real meaningful way to still get your music out there, to still make money for your music career. So we have a separate video where we do a deep dive on that. Be sure to check that out. But in the kind of realm of the AI music takeover, it's just starting. It first started with big corporations that jumped in and decided to, I don't know, start Suno and Udio companies. And in the process, they made a concerted, conscious effort to go onto these platforms like Spotify, like YouTube, to download copies of your music without authorization. When these things happen, we first call it out and we talk about it. And that's what we actually did for the last year with these companies. And so now we take action. And we've in fact filed class action lawsuits on behalf of independent artists against Suno and Udio. And here's the exciting thing. You get to be a part of this no matter what. If you want to support independent music and fighting against companies and people who do bad things, who just go and steal and misrepresent, well, they're gonna have to pay for that. And the great news is you can not only join as plaintiff, you can support the cause if you just want to get on the email list. You can do all of that at indieailawsuit.com. And it's been really exciting on this channel in particular because we've been covering how now there are courts that are coming in our favor as far as, is it okay for these companies to go and to take creative stuff like music and books and train their AI on it without getting your consent? And we see courts are now fall in line with saying no, if you steal it, if you steal it, it is not okay. You don't get to hide behind these doctrines that combat copyright infringement, which is exactly what they did. So as we go back to just generally, is this Spotify exposed? Like really, it's not so much that we now have bad actors who are misrepresenting their AI music as something it's not. That's the big focus here. But then my question is, how do we know that these are individuals that aren't working in conjunction with Spotify at every time? Spotify is always working with major record labels and using side deals and benefit this and profit that. They're never looking out for independent artists. So I go, why would now be any different? And I'm concerned that if we know Spotify's own terms, their own contract that they make you sign, says that they're not going to allow this behavior of what these AI fans or these AI creators are doing, and yet they're allowing it. And I go, why are they allowing it? That's interesting. When we compare a dozen different bands and artists, not just getting on Spotify, generating millions of streams, but also misrepresenting themselves as being real artists. So this problem is compounding and continuing to get more and more complicated. So is AI music, AI artists, AI bands really the new hit thing on Spotify? Or is this something to do with Spotify doing an experiment to see if it can replace your music? Alright guys, there's so much that we covered in this. Please leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think.
Interesting.
I'm 46 years old. Unless you have watched my channel before, you have no idea who I am. However, I have made a living in music for 20 plus years. I've written 1,000 production music tracks. I have a production music label. I run a sample library company called Somerville Sounds, and I've done pretty much every other job that a person can do in the music business that pays even a small amount of money. I'm going to share approximately 21 things that I have learned along the way that might help you if you're in your 20s and you're trying to think your way through this business. If you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and you watch this and I missed something, leave it in the comments. When you're first getting started, your exposure to the music business is going to be the big artists or things like American Idol or The Voice. You see the talent on screen, and most of us, especially the non-musical type, think, I could never do that. And it's true, you probably can never do that. If you're in your 20s and you're already not a great singer, you're probably not going to practice a little bit and become Adele. But it's not like professional sports. Pretty much everything else you can learn, you can get better, you can put your mind to it and figure it out. Once again, I started recording and they're mowing my lawn. One of the big differences between me 20 years ago and me now is that I used to think this is how good I am, and now when I come across, probably to a fault, when I come across some new thing, I think, I can learn how to do that. This isn't rocket science, but if you do something on the regular, you will get better. I have noticed a thread that almost every single person that I talk to that is in the music business, they have a dream of doing something. A lot of them attain some success doing that thing, then something happens and they have to start over. Either they quit and move on and do something else, or they think, I really want to stay in the music business. And so they keep going. A lot of times that means you're out front, everyone knows who you are, and suddenly I hear the lawnmower dying because the grass is so high. A lot of times that means you're the front person, and then suddenly you have to figure out what some of the side people do, or some of the people behind the scenes. That's how I got into recording. I never really thought I was going to be a rock star, but I had dreams that didn't work out, and I did other things. I've actually started recording a few podcast episodes, which once I get 4 or 5, I'm going to get a little more serious about sharing it with you. But the main theme of that is that failure is a prerequisite. Now, not for everybody, but for most of us, recognizing that you failed at something, dealing with all the emotions that go along with that, and then moving on is part of the deal. If you failed, join the club. I cannot tell you how many times I tried to do a thing, tried to get in touch with people who I thought could open a door for me, could provide an opportunity. And I was either rejected or I was looked at like, I don't think you're quite ready for what it is that you want to do. And then what I did is I found another way. Oftentimes the front door is not the only way in. I think that's even more obvious. I think it's a little more obvious to those of you in your 20s. Like, there's all these platforms for you to put your music out. You don't need a record label to say that you're good enough. For me personally, YouTube obviously gave me more opportunities than I would have gotten just being a producer or composer here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. I was able to make videos, connect with people all over the world, and it obviously gave me opportunities. But there's TikTok. I also started making sample libraries, and that met a whole different group of people. You need to be thinking about creative, sustainable ways that you can platform what you do out into the world. And that segues into you got to learn how to do basic things like write and talk to a camera. Not everybody has to go through this pain of making YouTube videos, but you need to be able to communicate yourself in a positive light. You can work on it behind the scenes, nobody has to see it. You can use ChatGPT and Claude or all those to help edit your writing. No AI in music, okay, but checking your grammar and providing a little better way to say this phrase here and there, I think I'm okay with that. In my weekly email newsletter, recently I talked about how important it is to work in public. You need to be putting yourself out there, so you need to learn the skills that are necessary for that. Surprisingly, things like email are not dead. I've got 10,000 of you that I send this email out to. I've been using that newsletter to keep me accountable to learning to be better at communicating through the written word. I write a little story every week about a life in music. I talk about these YouTube videos. I like to talk about artists that I work with, what's going on with Somerville Sounds. I have a local meetup that I share some info about. I know most of you can't come to that if you live in other parts of the world, but I think it's important to see other people meeting and talking about music-related things. I'll never forget after I had made my own personal project, which I'll talk more about that kind of thing later on. When I made this thing, I didn't think much about it, felt super insecure about it, and put it out to the world. I'll never forget the time that a potential client came up to me and said, man, I'd like to make a record and album. I was like, okay, sure, what would you like it to be like and sound like? And they said, your album, I really liked it. Could we sound like that? And yeah, I could probably figure out how to make acoustic guitars and clean electrics and mandolins and such sound the way I did on my own record. Yeah, I think I could probably do that. You need to make the thing that you want to be. I wanted to work in that Americana singer-songwriter world, and so I made an album like that, put myself out there, and then it attracted people to come want to work with me who liked what I do. I didn't have to pretend to be somebody else. I could be myself, and that was enough. Around 2010, 2011, I found my way into writing production music. If you're not familiar, we write music for TV and film and every other possible way that music gets used in media. And I remember writing a song, working really hard on it, only to find out that I needed to write 11 more just like it. And when I started doing the smallest amount of research in this business, I realized that successful people have 1,000 tracks. Okay, that's a lot. But I did it. I gave myself deadlines. I worked hard towards that. I put my head down and knew that I had to get these numbers up and maintain that balance of quality and quality. And sometimes I fell a little short, sometimes I took too long on a project, but I figured out how to increase my output without diminishing my skills. I took that mindset to YouTube, I made a video, and I learned, oh wait, people that are successful at this, a lot. You just keep showing up, and eventually an audience finds you. You gotta be giving yourself ambitious goals. And that's hard, because there's no guarantee in success with those goals. But there's a lot of trust in yourself, and you gotta meet the right people that can help you along the way. You need to be calculated. But the successful people that I know are almost always the ones who made ambitious goals and created a lot of material and let their body of work speak for them.
That's better.
When people ask me, what instrument do you play, John? I would say Pro Tools. For you, that might be Logic, Cubase, whatever. I can edit. I can edit video now, and I can certainly edit audio. I can put 8 takes together into something great, far better than I could ever do in one pass. Is that cheating? But nothing will get you better, faster than playing live in some capacity. Taking a 3 to 4 minute song and figuring out how to replicate that in front of people. The best I can play a line in the studio on my guitar is not the best I can play it in front of people. I gotta figure out, okay, can I recreate this when I'm nervous, I can't hear, my palms are sweaty, and the pretty girl that I wrote the song about is out in the audience. All those things will exponentially increase your ability to play the instruments that you have. It also gives you something to talk about. I think with social media, one of the biggest things that we struggle with is we don't have something specific to talk about. When you got a show coming up, you can video yourself practicing, you can talk about it, and it's a real thing that you can invite people to, and it has value. That's another reason why playing live is good. I had a little high blood pressure thing back at the end of 2024, and I looked in the mirror a few times and stepped on the scale a few times, noticed some information that I didn't like all that much. My hips kind of messed up, so I decided I was going to start walking with the goal of losing weight. That was the goal, and it's still the goal. And I've lost about 8 pounds. I'm sure you've noticed. You just haven't said anything yet. That's fine. But I discovered something in my quest to walk every day. And by the way, I'm 3 months in, I think 95 days of 10,000 steps or more. I haven't missed a day. Here's what I learned. Yes, I've lost weight. I love my walk. My walks usually takes a couple a day. I wouldn't trade them for anything. I do so much thinking. I feel so much better. I take my phone and I usually listen to music or a podcast, the first part, and the second part, talking to my phone, all the things I want to remember. I wrote half of this video by talking it into my phone. I love my walk. You can sit, I could go a full day and have 300 steps before I said, okay, I gotta get out of this room. I think you know what I'm talking about. Go for a walk. It's great that you're busy right now. You've got a project, it's gonna take a month or so, somebody signed on, I don't know, it's some kind of media thing where you're doing the voiceover and you're also writing music for it, and you're doing some of the editing, that's great. What might be happening to you right now, and happened to me, I put all my focus into it, all my attention, and then it ended, and I had nothing to do. Because all I thought about was doing the best work in that moment. And it paid well, but then it was done, and I was starting at zero trying to figure out what I was going to do next. You need to realize that work comes in waves, and you need to always be thinking 3, 6, 9 months ahead. It's hard to do, you're not always going to be successful at it, but you can't be thinking only about the moment that you're in. I mentioned being 46. That's a big part of this video. I have heard lots of sounds come, feel like they're going to stick around forever, and go away. And now I'm old enough to watch videos from when I got into the business, and it looks like it's from the 50s. It's crazy. Part of it's just because of where video was in the early 2000s, but it felt so cool, it felt so modern, it felt so popular, and then it's not. I've known people who have always been on the cutting edge. Eventually you're just the old guy who is connected to, that sound. I decided to be old from the beginning. I've always been into more timeless sounds, and look, chase the trends, do all that. Be cool. I'm not acoustic guitars, pianos, drums, that aren't crazy processed in whatever the modern overcompressed way or whatever, without crazy big long gated hall reverbs, that's cool and all for when it happened. And look, now everything, the 80s is back and it's all the hodgepodge, so maybe do whatever you want. But you need to know how to get that timeless guitar sound, that timeless vocal sound. You need to understand modern tools, but you also need to know what is timeless. There are fundamentals that...
All right, I'm pausing on this. I'm a little bit bored, but he is right. All right. All right, time to watch Netflix. Black Clover.
What's that? And all by yourself. You must have been so lonely, poor thing. I definitely know what that feels like. We can always use another beautiful young lady on the team.
You worked hard in the shadows, so we'd probably get along really well. I would ask him. Except, we've been best friends since the moment I was born.
Oh, yes, please join us. You've seen all the fun we have together. Now you can be a part of it too. Just promise me you'll share your snacks. Well, it's a good thing I didn't eat her back when she was a bird.
Tell me I didn't hear that. Look, the Black Bulls are a wacky group of misfits. So if you're worried about being too different for us, you must not have been paying attention. Besides, I'm already familiar with your key. Trust me, one more weirdo isn't gonna hurt anything.
Are you sure? Feeling that eternal prison. In that case, I'll join you.
Sounds good. Our squad's rep is as pitch black as it gets anyway. That's us.
seems I haven't made myself clear. Even if you protect that devil's cohorts, it won't change the outcome at all. Causing a fuss here won't clear the criminal's name. In fact, the charges against him for conspiring with the devil will become more severe. Your impassioned pleas for your friend will do nothing to help the kingdom. These nobles will never change their minds.
What up, Marissa? What's up, Mr. Alexandra? Mrs. Alexandra, I don't know. 2016. What's good?
Scale regulator. My scale measures spells. It judges your magic, balances it, and creates order. No matter how powerful you are, you can't win.
But Rouge hasn't disappeared, which means he won't be able to do anything to us. And we have someone on our side who can make the impossible possible.
Even Destroyer Sword! Fade release! Did he just erase the effects of my magic?
Your move, Justice Boy.
It isn't the formula. You're as reckless as always, I see. What exactly were you planning to do next?
I usually make things up as I go along.
It almost looked like you were trying to miss.
You brute. Even if you did this to rescue your squad members, you still couldn't have made a worse impression. Though it did buy some time. What is with the big lizard? Wow, you really came back with a bang, didn't you, tough guy?
No, it's you guys? So how many people are gonna bust in here? In light of recent events, we can't afford to lose any strong magic nuts.
Regardless of our difference in status, we still acknowledge you and your squad mates as valuable allies.
No, Zelda's here. And Fragolion, too.
Why are they here?
Is there something I can do for you?
We've been given a message from the Wizard King. It's for the Black Bulls, a special mission. We're to locate and investigate these devils. You will prove your innocence with your own hands.
Oh, I get it. Royals have the authority here. That's why he sent Moselle to Boy Goldman. Who better than them to make these snobs listen? Sometimes I think that geriatric kid will against you in the future.
Julius? Why must he reappear just in time to step on my toes again?
I guess this means Asta won't be put to death, at least for now.
While Asta is occupied with this assignment, the Wizard King and the rest of the Magic Knights will be taking full responsibility for him.
So they're creating leeway for the scoundrel to prove his innocence, while also giving the impression that he's being dealt with by Julius and the Magic Knights. What does that mean, though? I'm confused.
We're gonna go investigate those devils to prove you're not evil and save your ass. And we'll break the curse with forbidden magic too.
So many. It's an order from the Wizard King. There must be a reason as to where it happens. Apparently this audience is an incentive for you as I predicted it would be. But know this. You prove to be of no use to the kingdom. You will be executed. Your fate continues to hang in the balance.
It's the most stressful part right there. In that line in there.
Thanks for your help.
What's in there? Look how pretty that is, though. So nice.
Asta, here.
There we go. This will better. Anybody watching right now? Oh, fuck. Ah. We have two friends. Is she actually Alexandria? Okay, I was trying to figure that out, yeah. I got worst beating of my life. Oh, that's not good, Marissa. What happened? She actually, okay. What's up, Alexandria? How's life rocking?
I'm fairly confident that the Black Bulls will learn something useful about the Devils. Actually, both of them barging into the trial uninvited.
It's taking responsibility. The kingdom can't bear a burden that great. And neither can you, for that matter.
But I didn't forgive them. I trusted them. Those things don't always go hand in hand. You know, I think eventually, your scales will tip in Asta's favor.
I'm relieved your personality didn't change with your face. This land is in danger. The crisis we're facing is not a small one. If the kingdom starts to fall, I must pass judgment. Upon that boy, and even upon me.
Your Majesty! Marx, it's good to see you. Seems you're feeling better already.
You're alive, but you're younger. You'll be so young and old. I'm fine, thank you. I'm not concerned about you, sir. You. Where do I even start? You're always a bit like a child. Now you really are a child.
Well, it's like this.
No, you don't need to explain. You just show me your memories later. Kingdom is facing peril. With you stuck in that fort. Honestly. That's so damn ridiculous. But I'm really happy that you're still alive.
Thank you, Marx. I'm sorry for making you worry all the time.
You're not forgiven.
Huh?
First, you have lots of work to do.
Wait!
You have plenty of problems that need your attention, so right now!
I'm one of the Black Bulls now. Me. Oh, Prince. So many things have happened. So much has changed since the day we met 500 years ago.
Why, hello there. You must be Secker, right? I'm sorry. I would have come to you, but I've been totally buried in my research lately. So tell me about this magic of yours. Sealing magic? I've never heard of that before. You must be rare. You're so lucky. How can we put it to use? Thinking about it is so exciting.
Magical tools?
That's right. With these, even someone born without any magic can use all kinds of spells. I think it'll be a good way to make our society more equal in the future.
Equal. You're a dreamer.
It can be done with the help of my magic items. I
I'm sure your ability will be a huge help in making them. I know. Can you seal magic into objects?
Yes.
Wow, really? That's perfect.
And so, I helped the prince with his magical inventions. I've never met anyone else like him in North Carolina. There were some members of his family who resented him because of the progressive ideas that he championed, but he didn't let that bother him. He remained strong and honest, never compromising his beliefs. I didn't know it then, but the prince associated with a group that was different than humans. They were the elves, a race who was loved and blessed by monarchs, and who lived their lives in quiet peace.
I can't believe it! Like in his sword match, I've been chosen by the 4-leaf clover grimoire!
What's so exciting about this? The mean-spirited is... First time the prince had found it, but...
This is one thing I don't like about anime. They do fucking flashbacks or whatever all the time. It's like I've seen that 30 times.
The devil manipulated Prince Mimir and the elves in order to throw the owner of the 4-leaf grimoire into a deep pit of despair. He did so because it's the way a 5-leaf grimoire is born, which, in turn, allows the devil to manifest itself in this world, along with his true form and ultimate powers.
Where did that creature come from? This must be the end of the world. Now, I understand why I was born with such a massive amount of magic power. Don't worry. I won't let you become a murderer. Who's that? Look! It's Prince Lumiere!
They stole something I helped create and used it to take away the elves' magic. We built that item to make everyone's lives better. I'm sorry, Prince. Lady Tetia, is there anything left that I can do? My prince! This item is our legacy! We can still make it a good one!
I'll use the item we built to absorb his attack. I should have known it couldn't withstand that much magic.
The pain stopped. That evil one is fading.
Yeah. This is your chance. Do it now. You're right. I have to. prevented me from possessing him, but you put on a good show. For the time being, I suppose I'll have to be sad.
Whole episode is just recap.
There was a time when sunshine brought us back to the brightest days of our youth, when midday picnics reminded us of
Fine, thanks. Armchair for you or for yeah, it's for a client. It is called Black Clover.
Kids visit free all season.
Yeah, I like that.
The devil was sealed for 500 years, but the day would soon come when the seal would break. Against all reason in this world, I was transformed into a bird, and I continued to guard Lake Springlar. In the present day, this place is called Hajj Village. It's situated far away from the royal capital of the Clover Kingdom, a hamlet in the Forsaken Realm.
Asta! Hang in there! I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I'm so sorry.
This, please, don't worry about it. This is nothing. After all, I'm gonna be the Wizard King, right? I'm gonna be the Wizard King. I'll keep you and everybody else safe. No more worrying about food and money. You'll have everything you ever wanted. I'll prove it. Show them all. Prove what? That even if you're poor, a commoner and an orphan, you can still become the Wizard King. You really think so? Yeah. Anybody can do it.
There we are.
As long as they're willing to work hard. Even me. And even you.
I'm never going to cry again. I'm decided.
What do you mean?
I'll do it too. I'm going to become the Wizard King. I'll work hard and get strong so I can protect.
Bro, what is up with this recap shit, son?
I was dead. I look like it.
Dude, fuck a recap, man. Get out of here. Just because, there's my needles.
After the chaos of the royal capital had finally died down, Asta and the Black Bulls were headed back home.
Look alive, knuckleheads. It's not that much farther now.
After all the crazy stuff that's happened, it feels like we haven't been home in forever.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I can have at least one day and work out in peace before we get another job to do.
And that's peaceful to you?
Hey, look. Almost there.
come in and there's the living room, right? And after that is... You explain it to a master.
What? Who, me? No! Of course here! Next to my shrine to Marie.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it was a giant pantry with snacks from all over the kingdom in it.
No, it was the sauna.
Whoa, where did you guys live? Maybe we did have a snack hatch in the sauna.
To be fair, the rooms were all mixing around, so it's difficult to picture what went where.
Wow, you guys kept breaking everything.
Thanks for the years of free home repairs, but you didn't have to randomly change the whole floor plan.
Without the help of my spatial magic, Captain Yami would have never found his way from this room.
Sorry, everyone.
Hey! Everybody want to hire many different ideas together and make the town the biggest, comfiest place in the whole kingdom!
Yeah, I think that's a killer idea.
Sounds like a plan to me.
As long as I can enjoy my drinks in the new place, I'm in.
You're shooting for the moon, aren't you? Alright, you morons, knock yourselves out.
We'll do that, sir! We're counting on you, Henry!
Leave it to me.
Everybody take one. Write all the stuff you want on these forms. Oh, can't forget you two.
There's always a thing with you.
Seems overwhelmed.
Do you think we maybe asked too much of him? My request is for the staff to be relocated so we can fix through the church of our recluse.
Ready? Now I see you.
Can't wait to be your neighbor.
Hey, how about throwing an open door too?
He's really giving this a lot of thought, huh?
Well, it's important.
Alright, get back to work.
What's all this stuff for? You want us to go hunting for bugs or something?
Of course not, you idiot. My adorable little pets used to live here before our hideout got wrecked by the eye of the midnight sun, so now they're running loose. Go track them down before they cause trouble.
Sir! Oh, I forgot about them! It's no big deal, though. They got pretty used to me after I took care of them. I'm sure this is gonna be a piece of cake.
Don't count on that, kid. These woods are their backyard. They probably went feral again after a couple of days. The second you let your guard down, they'll eat you alive.
Hang on, if they're that scary, how come you sending me out there with only this tiny net?
Quit your panicking and go get my pets back. There are 3 magical beasts. The rest of you are aboard. Go help them.
Yay! Yes, sir! Tell me, sir! It's gonna be so much fun to spot some magical beasts!
If you lay one finger on my precious baby, I'll give you the
Will you two leave me alone?
Hey, big
I'm
guy.
trying to have a conversation with a photograph of my little sister.
Hey,
I hope this won't be a total affair.
leave the bandage alone.
You listening to me?
You guys ready to go? I think the three of us should team up since we're the squad rookies.
If you say so.
Wait, wasn't Zora here just a second ago?
No thanks. Got better things to do.
Oh well, when the mask-wearing punk can bail at me once, I'll just punish him later. I've got an important duty to attend to. I'm leaving this up to you guys.
Hey, monsters! Where are you?
That's actually kind of cute. Don't forget, the captain said they're probably feral, so
Thomas!
it looks like
were groomed,
Thomas.
not you.
Thomas.
If you ask me, you were the pet. They say the more you argue, the closer you are. I mean, not that it makes any difference to me. I only came along because I have no choice in the matter.
What's that key unsensitive?
What? I don't know, but there was no way I was thinking about you, Tails. Don't you? Asta! I'll see if I can locate them from the side. Maybe I'm worried about nothing. Kind of seems like we hate each other. Wait, we're alone now? What's the matter? You scared?
What are you talking about? I'm not scared. It's just checking you out.
Thomas.
Stop. Hey, I told you to hurry. I probably hate somewhere so we could go boom. Spook me. No bother, small fry. I'll make you regret this.
Hey.
Did you think an amateur move like that would actually work on me? I'ma kill you!
I don't know when you think you can.
There's nobody out here that can stop fighting, so feel free to come at me with everything you got.
Well, I wouldn't say that if I were you. Things have changed and you and I are on totally different levels.
Days. That's for damn sure. You may not know this, but I developed unbelievable strength after our battle when you were possessed.
Oh, really? That makes two of us then. The mom is calling to me. I haven't sparred with you in ages, so I'll probably have too much fun and get carried away.
Where are you going?
Oh gosh, what was that sound?
Who gives a crap?
Thomas, stop doing that, buddy. Stop it.
Behind me.
Please pretend I'm not here. This whole situation is so humiliating.
Why didn't you just stay home?
I wanted to, but there's so many walls have to conceal my shame.
I'm not gonna stay at walls.
Don't worry, your face is the most terrifying thing here. I wish you'd stop making eye contact with me.
Yep, there they are. The fastest way of these monsters is under an invisible sweet Marie. You guys? What the hell are you doing?
Sorry, it's just that they got us out of nowhere. Probably because you evolved your terror.
Hey, stop it.
Get off me! I can't believe I got teamed up with the two biggest scaredy cats on the squad. How am I supposed to catch these things with you two hanging on to me?
Thomas.
For a strong drink. Hey, Finna, can we make a portal and go buy me another bottle or two?
Don't you guys think we should get back to hunting soon?
Oh, quit being a goody two-shoes and drink up, you big nerd.
You know you want to try some of these nummy treats. They're fresh out of the oven.
Listen, it's not that I don't want to, I just don't feel like it's a good idea. If the captain found out, he'd kill me for sure. Then again, I'm sure the others already caught them anyway, so there's no reason we can't relax for a little bit.
Hey, where'd Fire go?
So give me that drink. By the way, do you have any more snacks, Charlie? Have I had too many? Oh my goodness, Charlie, you're so tall all of a sudden and so hairy too. Not to mention those nails of yours. You're in desperate need of a manicure, you know. Otherwise, that pretty boy from the Golden Dome will never like you back. That was a great fight. You've really improved.
I got you. Just for now. I guess I can let you off the hook. That's it. You're not gonna let me on, Captain Stanley. If you get 10 times stronger than I will too, you might get a step ahead, but you'll never out to me. I hope you're okay with that.
Hi, Dad. Sorry, I couldn't really hear you which speech over all the growling.
Oh, damn it, there's always something. Just give me a second to recover my mana and stamina, and then I'll save you, I promise.
Okay, that sounds fair.
Tony, the other guy used to take care of me before Austin came along. Don't tell me you forgot about me already. Come on, I swear, I'll take
goes on with him makes me jumpy.
Those are Magnus glasses.
It can't be. They ate him? Look!
Oh man, are you guys okay?
Talk to us! It's bad. The other Black Bulls were also defeated by the magical beasts.
Stop. Forget about us. Just run. Captain Yoni. She's in trouble.
It's occupied. Hey! I'm in here, damn it! Who is that? Look, if you good for nothing slackers are back already, then you better have my pet with you. I'm up against a tough opponent here, and if I don't concentrate, he's gonna go back into hiding. Give me a minute! Jeez. I'm glad the three of you are home, but you're probably not waiting in line to use the John, huh?
Captain Yami's way stronger than we are, so we might be okay. But Magna and Block almost got eaten alive. If all three attack him at once, I'm not sure if he'll make it. Just hang in there, okay? I'm on my way to rescue you!
Hey, stop licking me already, you big lugs. Oh, drool smells like garbage.
What the heck, Captain Yami? I rushed over here to save you because I thought you were being attacked by the magical beast, but you're fine!
Well, I guess they technically did attack me.
They wanted some attention from you. Come on, that's it, really?
These big fellas are always crazy affectionate. In fact, they've been like that ever since I first met them. I remember I was on my way back to the hideout. When I found them, poor thing's parents had just been killed. They were all alone. Guess some nobles were out hunting magical beasts for sport. Sorry, little ones. Folks are never gonna wake up. Look, I got separated from my parents too, but all we can do is chin up and keep on keeping on. Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I never said I was gonna take care of you. How am I supposed to say no to that?
Oh, wow! That was such a heartwarming story, sir! I bet those kids were so adorable when they were teeny-weeny little babies!
Anyway, it didn't even take 6 months for these guys to grow up as big as their parents had been. It cost me a fortune to keep them fed, so I keep trying to abandon them.
Okay, you just ruined it! That's mean.
I sent you guys off to catch them so they didn't wander into a nearby village and wreak havoc or anything like that. Although it seemed like they wanted to return to the wild and be free, I was kind of thinking of letting them loose in the mountains somewhere as soon as we can get a hold of them.
Captain Yami, you're in one piece! Magna, you're back! I thought you were hurt real bad!
Nope. But they did look us all over, so we smell kind of right now.
It seemed like they were gonna gobble us up, but they just wanted us to pet them and play with them.
Apparently it was enough to make everyone faint from exhaustion. You're such a troublesome group. Well, we figured if they were that excited to see us, then Captain Yami would have a really hard time fighting the boss, so we were concerned for his safety.
But the boss man's A-okay.
I'm sure he's used to it. He is their owner after all.
Who's a good magical beast?
Don't let me radio you're dead.
They're pretty cute, but their drool smells like death.
If you want us to pet you some more, go take a bath and brush your teeth.
They must love the rest of the Black Bulls just like they love the captain. Hey there. Anytime you can't take it, you want me to pet you for a while?
Judging by that look, they still think of you as dinner.
Here you go, I brought you a little snacky snack.
This is hard to watch.
Hey, did I miss anything?
Sora! What have you... Let's see how that's your business, kid. I'm still not finished. Sun's going down.
Naturally it is. I just need to put it together.
The combination magic. Black Bull's hideout. Hard rock bison style.
Outside was Magna's idea.
So tacky.
You know, for
tomorrow's forecast?
Mostly sunny, but partly cloudy. Temperatures will be mild during the day and a little chillier as night falls.
This talking Marie doll is incredible. No cute maid, huh?
I can clean your room for you.
No thanks! Right, I appreciate the thought.
What about the rooms? Who's everyone paired up with?
I'm glad you asked.
Oops.
This part was Gordon's request.
So I'm not next door to us, but I'm sure you're as friends. That's a step above friends, isn't it? This is crazy.
Kind of reminds me of sharing a space with Juno and Magic Church.
Yeah, this is gonna be a blast.
I'm not okay with this.
Neither am I. Right, this isn't up to my royal standards.
Well, I can't say I'm crazy about sharing a room with Luck, but it'll be fun to stay up late chatting with Captain Yami every night.
Yeah, I'm gonna veto that right now.
Oh, right, I forgot. The captain's in a different room.
Seriously?
What the hell is this?
It was a request from the Magic Beast.
Well, put it like that, I guess. It's still a no! That's better. We need a hideout, freaking amusement park. That's why
I didn't get him straight in. So now I have to fucking fix this whole thing. That's not paying the
The wine fountain was nice, but it's a lot bigger.
Alright. Alright, buddy.
When I first walked into the hideout, I was coming up my soul. Everybody sent me right off the bat. I knew I didn't have any accountability. Everything that had went to me made me It turned out okay. You were here to help me. You got there's something I need.
Here in Benluck, it's 6 p.m. It is like 4 o'clock right now.
First things first, we better figure out everything we can about those detectives.
Right.
The Bloomberg Kingdom. In this place where magic is everything, there lives one boy who was born without it. His name is Asta.
Asta.
His strength and determination helped him.
I'm gonna watch Seinfeld for a little bit.
What are you doing?
I got a pebble.
I never heard of that happening to a woman.
What the hell does that mean?
Hey, Elaine, go like this. Do it. Like this.
Like
Thomas, stop.
Yeah, it's you. There's a clothing store downtown. They got a mannequin in there that looks exactly like a... Wow, it's okay. It's like they chopped off your arms and legs, dipped you in plastic, and screwed you all back together again and stuck you on a pedestal. It's really quite exquisite.
Who's in the store with the mannequin?
Renitsky.
Oh, yeah. May I help you?
This itch. I was watching TV without my shirt on, and one of my couch cushions didn't have any fabric.
But next time, we have some really cool suits in there.
Real boss.
I'm going down.
Wait, I'm gonna go. I gotta get a new suit. I got a second interview with Mackenzie, and I think I'm really close. Did they all pick me up at lunch on Friday?
You gonna need this?
Keep it. It's like some pod landed from another planet and took your body. Don't fall asleep, Elaine.
What's going on here? How do you think this happened?
Wow, look at this. This is a beautiful suit.
Is it not going to be a coincidence, George? Is that possible?
You are perfect for that suit.
You think so?
Excuse me, where did this come from? I don't know.
I really think this looks okay.
Fabulous. Perfect fit. And it's the last one we have. I'm sorry. You can't tell me where the mannequin came from? I told you, I don't know. Well, is there somebody around here I could talk to who would know? Why? Isn't it obvious? This mannequin looks exactly like me. Did you just roll your eyes at him? Because let me tell you something. If anybody should be rolling their eyes, it is me at him about you. I think maybe you're flattering yourself. That mannequin is wearing a $1,200 Gaultier dress. What do you say? That I'm not good enough for this hideous dress? Listen, Natasha. I wouldn't be caught dead wearing your crummy little Eurotrash rags. I'll meet you outside. What is her problem?
What can you do? Is this the price tag?
Yes.
Yes, hello, party's over.
I'll let you in on a little secret. We're having an unadvertised sale starting Friday. That suit will be half price.
So you think you could put this to the side and hold it for me?
Oh, I'm afraid I couldn't do that. It wouldn't be fair to the other customers.
Oh, yes, of course, and we have to be fair.
So, I found out who supplies the mannequins and I called them up.
But how did they get your face?
I don't know. They wouldn't tell me. Jerry. Hello?
Excuse me. I couldn't help but notice you offered her a piece of your pie.
That's right.
And you waved it away.
Right.
Did you give her a reason?
Yes. I was full.
You were full. So you gave a reason. You didn't just shake your head.
No, I'm not a psycho.
Exactly. You're not a psycho. You've been very helpful. Thank you very much. Allow me to leave the tip. What? I think we've proven who the psycho is.
We certainly have.
Hey, Lenny, scratch my back.
No way.
Come on, one lap around.
No.
It'll be a funky adventure.
I never forget it.
Jimmy, I'm ready. I'm going home to spatula.
What George was meeting.
What's going down?
He's guarding a suit.
Do you need some help with that itch?
Madam, I pray you're not toying with me. Whoa.
Turn around.
It fits you perfectly.
You think so? What is this? Can I leave this place for a second? Can I help you?
I like the suit.
No. This suit is not for sale.
Excuse me, do you work here?
No.
And what the hell business is it of yours?
Look, I'm doing you a favor. They're having an unadvertised sale. This suit is going to be half price starting on Monday.
Really?
Yeah,
This moment?
Yes. Now take off those pants.
Actually, the unadvertised sale is starting Friday.
Friday. Thanks.
You know, honey, for an unadvertised sale, you're doing a lot of yapping about it.
I can't believe your father owns this place. So, how are the desserts here?
Everything is delicious.
You've tasted them?
Almost all of them.
Oh, I I see they have apple pie. You've had the apple pie?
Many times.
Audrey, I gotta be honest with you. I'm a very curious guy. It's my nature. I need to know things. Not tasting the apple pie the other day. I can't get past it. You obviously like pies. You carry donuts in your bag. You're not averse to pastry. Surely you can see how such a thing would prey on my mind.
Can you drop this?
Why can't I know?
Poppy.
Sweetheart, hello.
Poppy, it's Jerry.
Hello, Poppy.
I'm making you a very special edition.
Very special.
The pies. I'm a little bit.
Jerry. Tonight you in for a real treat. I'm personally going to prepare the dinner for you and my Audrey.
Jerry, you okay? Is anything wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. I'll see you tomorrow.
Is it for you, Olive?
Thank
Here it is.
Wait till you taste this. Poppy, this is perfect.
Well,
Jerry, have some. Not gonna taste it? Jerry.
So she thought I did it to get back at her. Why don't you just tell her? Happy is the kind of thing you want to hear about your father. But I tell you, when he came out of that bathroom, when he was needing that dough, it was a wild scene. How could he not have washed? Maybe he's not going to soap up. At least pretend, but why Benedict turn the water on, do something. Yeah, what I do? You know, a chef who doesn't wash is like a cop who steals. It's a cry for help. He wants to get caught. Well, I think Poppy's got some problems. There's a whole other thing going on with Poppy. So, how'd you like it? We haven't spoken.
Hey, George. Well, I'm not gonna need this anymore. I got Olive. Yeah, my lady friend down in Monks. You guys ought to see the way she works her nails across my back. She's a maestro. The crisscross, the figure eight, strumming the old banjo, and this wild, savage free-for-all where anything can happen.
Except the time I gotta get downtown and buy that suit. The store opens in 20 minutes.
Hey, is that Elaine mannequin still there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
The last time I saw her, she was naked. Yeah, Poppy's got problems.
What a pain in the ass this is.
Where is it? Well, look at this. This doesn't belong here. Someone has made a terrible mistake. You bastard. You hid the suit. Eh? I have no idea how this suit got misplaced. Nevertheless, I do believe I shall purchase it. I hope you rot in that suit. Look, I'm gonna get you for this. I don't know how, but I am gonna get you. You are gonna pay.
Oh, I'll pay. Half price. Arrivederci, my fellow 40 shorts.
So I made a little list of people who might have made mannequins. You know, possible suspects.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Alright, well, there's this blind guy at a party I was at, and he felt my face for a really long time. He had to see what I looked like. He almost put his finger up my nose.
Okay, what else you got?
I need another start at. Well,
Oh, because I didn't think the blind guy did it.
Because you have an attitude.
Oh, Georgie, yeah. Nice done.
Now you're telling me, huh? Kelly, what do you think?
Did you hear something?
Yeah, like a swoosh.
Yeah.
It must be the fabric. It's rubbing between your thighs when you walk. That's what's making that swooshy sound.
We didn't hear it on the way over because of the street noise. This is no good. I gotta make these guys from Mackenzie for lunch in half an hour.
So what? What would they care?
This Mackenzie guy, he's a bit of a nut. Someone told me he fired the last guy because his nose whistled when he breathed.
So you think you're not gonna get the job because your pants make a noise?
Let's say it comes down to me and one other guy. He's got a nice quiet suit, no whooshing all over the place. What do you think he's gonna hide it?
You know, I think all these interviews are making you nuts.
Hey, Jared, I saw your girlfriend was in here before.
Audrey?
Yep, sat down, had herself a piece of pie.
Was it apple?
What else?
This woman is bending my mind into a pretzel.
I know you.
No, you don't.
Yeah. You were wearing a G-string, one of those bras with points.
The mannequin.
Oh, I gotta see this thing. Boy, the resemblance is uncanny.
You think you can pose me however you want? That's my ass in your window. It's our story, my Monica. We can do whatever we want with it. No, you take that mannequin down right now. Or I am pressing charges. Yes, this is my attorney. Oh, yes. No, my ranking.
Well, I believe there's some legal precedent. Winchell versus Mahoney. Charlie McCarthy hearing.
Are you taking this now? I'm getting the manager. Jerk in the car.
What are you doing?
Jerk in the car.
Elaine, as your legal counsel, I must advise against this. I don't know about you, but I'm getting a hankering for some double mint gum. All right, I'm dropping you off at work, right?
This is a pain in the ass. I didn't get the screw in there right. I ruined it. Broke the bolt. Get to the last step and I have to fix it. Yeah, it's Seinfeld. And the weather is warm today. For sure. It's definitely steamy.
Concentrate without people mooching around.
Anyways, I have to go to Lowe's and get some stuff. Make sure to go do the subscription, and I don't even know. I'll see you.